first thing women notice? Your face. That's why you got to take care of. Simple things like getting a haircut, grooming your face, and brushing your teeth is important. But there's one thing guys miss and that women always notice. It's when a guy isn't taking care of his skin. That's why I'm so excited to have T. Shanley as a sponsor of today's video. T. Shanley simplifies the process of taking care of your skin. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing you don't. Seriously, I don't think some of you believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve your confidence in all aspects of your life. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: daily face wash, exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with an SPF 20 and a PM moisturizer. But there's hope. And to make it dead simple for you guys, they provide an instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. But because T just sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description and get 40% off your first skincare system and free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll get 20% off for life. By the way, one of their new gift options is a silicone body scrubber, which is a $20 value and a complete game changer. Once you use this, you'll never go back to a regular loofah ever again. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today.
Maintaining your beard isn't just style, it's self-respect. A well-grown beard boosts confidence and leaves a lasting impression. Elevate your look. Embrace the importance of beard care today. It's go time. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. We'll introduce the crew. We got Miss Kelly J, Rainy, Tasha, Pink, Chanel, Clout Jones. That's some guy, me, myself, the PJR. Welcome. How y'all doing?
Good evening.
Blessed and highly favored.
Okay.
Right on.
I don't know how I just did that. This might be.
Okay, now Rainy, do a heart now. There you go. Okay. She's a chosen one, y'all. She's a chosen one. Shout out to Rainy. It's good to see you guys, man. Welcome to the show. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to get the housekeeping out the way. Shout out to the sponsor, T. Shanley, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. You guys get 40% off along with a free gift. And if you become a member, you get 20% off for life. You also have your beard care needs. The Sure Man King on top. This is a Lapeef Sugar Curls collab. Excellent product. That link is also in the description and in the bio. Make sure you click it, man. Let's make sure we get our beards in order. So y'all ready to do this show? Ready?
Let's get it.
Okay. Make sure y'all don't be too rowdy now. Don't be too relaxed. Have a balance. Kind of get in between.
Clout set the tone, so.
Oh, okay, yeah. You did set the tone. Black Power. And that Black Panther vibe, right?
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and kick it off, man. We're gonna talk about Joie Chavis. Chavis? Did I say
Joie
correct?
Chavis.
Chavis.
I don't know if it's Chavis. It's probably Chavis.
Chavis. Call it Joy. So some news broke not too long ago. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. Joie Chavis confirms she no longer in a relationship with Trevon Diggs. This is what somebody in the chat said. Just wondering, are you two still together? No shade whatsoever, especially from someone like me. She actually responded, which celebrities periodically do. She says, no, we aren't. I think that's obvious. Miss Kelly J, you do have a little bit of background about her. She's the baby mother of who?
Trevon Diggs currently. They have a daughter together. Future, they have a son together. And Bow Wow, her first daughter, is with Bow Wow.
Okay.
So, 3 baby daddies,
3 baby daddies.
3 celeb baby daddies.
Celebs. Okay. It might have been the gender, but we don't know. Anyhow, so on Cameron and Mace's show, they had a segment where they spoke on this. They spoke on Miss Chavis and Mr. Diggs. Let's see what they had to say.
I don't want to joke about it. I do, nigga. I told you you didn't want to listen to me. You talk shit about me when I said it, nigga. I told your dumbass, nigga. I don't care about being your friend. Mo and Mace want to be nice about it. When I told you this shit, you told me I need to shut up. My old ass don't know what I'm talking about. Look at you now. Then you know what's more fucked up, nigga, is that she did it on Instagram. She don't even got the courtesy to keep shit tucked away, keep it low, say we're going to handle this like adults and co-parent. I told you, nigga, and you tried to play me. Don't get no attitude with me. Now you got to, look, you was going to bump into niggas anyway. Now, one thing I will say is, I know Bow, I know Future, like, they ran into a couple females together before. You know, they got the same taste, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And I'm my niggas too, but, you know, I don't think that Bow and Future gonna respect you as a baby father. They probably clown. Look, the nigga Bow Wow called Russell Wilson, Sierra's I forget what the fuck he said, the way he said it, but he said Sierra's some shit. Basically said like I can't remember when when Jermaine Dupri was up here talking about us. Make a long story short, he's disrespectful, says Sierra's like little nigga, some shit like that. They don't give a fuck, my nigga. Look, what's her name? Joy?
Joy.
I get that check and give about your business.
All right, so just go ahead and talk about this first, man, because as a celebrity, right? Let's just say hypothetically I was a celebrity. I wouldn't want anybody that's been passed around in the industry. That's just me. I think that would be something I would stay away from. I don't understand why it's so difficult for men that are in the industry to stay away from the women that prey. Now, the first one, cool. But this is the third one. And Cameron even said that he tried to warn the young man, Brother Diggs, about the whole situation, but he still did it anyway. I just want to get you guys' thoughts on what's going on with these men not being aware.
Well, I just looked up her age, and she's 36, and he's 26. So I'm putting the blame on her on this one. I really am, because he's young. He's thinking he's ready for something. You know how younger guys are with older women at times. And I feel like with older women, if you decide to date a man that's that much younger than you should be coming in with some type of substance and some type of guidance. You should have some type of male friends that could possibly help him, but you should be realistic with what you signed up for at the end of the day. And knowing he's 26, it seems like I feel like that about the other girl. I think her name was Drea. I can't remember her name. The same thing with her. It's like these older women are dating these younger men, and as soon as it's like almost as soon as they get pregnant or within a couple of years of the baby being born, they're just like, no, I can't deal with this anymore. They're leaving, and then they try to use his mistakes against him. Not saying that he's not grown, he can't own up to his mistakes, but 36 and 26, it's a big age gap there. And I don't know. We were just talking about how a lot of men don't gain emotional maturity till 30. So that's just like, I don't know what she thought she was going to get from that relationship. I want to chime in and say that it's hard to say that he wasn't aware, because it wasn't like she was hiding these kids in the closet. Like, you knew, because her baby fathers are high profile. They're not, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got to search. We know these things. But I mean, the biggest thing for me is I agree with you as far as the age difference. Like, that's 10 years is strong. You know what I mean? Like, a strong age difference, especially at the years of 25 and 30. Like, that's something else. But I just want to add that, like,
we gotta be honest, like, and take some accountability. Like, men love the aesthetics, right? Like, it's so funny because I just had a conversation yesterday, then to be seeing TikToks and stuff today about, so women were merching this, right? Like, men were saying how do I say this? We were watching a game on Monday, and somebody was talking about one of the football players' wives, right? And how she ain't had no ass at all. And he was just like, I can't understand why you would pick somebody like this, and this. I'm like, I don't understand why you care about who this man married. He, like, mind you, he's putting himself in the room with his wife, saying like it's nothing for him to grab, and he said, so men really be stuck on how a woman looks more than the integrity, more than any other attributes, her pocketbook, all the things. And like, I feel like that's the type of stuff that we see when we see, because Joie is a beautiful woman, you know what I'm saying? And she does her fitness thing. And, you know, we see her on Instagram doing the Instagram model thing, you know what I mean? Posting up, looking good, looking like a snack or dinner, however you want to put it. And men be owning and drawing off that. Yeah. So I feel like we can't say he didn't know. I feel like he consciously chose like who he wanted to procreate with. And that's what it be about. Everybody maybe don't want to be married and stuff, but I think it's crazy how all these people are immediately having kids and then breaking up. Like, you know, Chloe Bailey, DG, or, you know, however you say his name. But yeah, that was my 2 cents on that. Like, it ain't no mistake. He's aware of what he's doing. But I do think he a baby though, with a bag.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Cloud Jones.
Yeah, I think Ramey's right in one regard. You know, a lot of time it's the aesthetic. You know, a lot of these girls that get passed around in the industry, they're among the top 10% in beauties as far as natural looks. A lot of them that, you know, they have really great bodies, and a lot of times that's what's dragging them in. Then you add to the fact that he's 10 years younger. She's probably somebody that he's been watching on Instagram as a kid growing up. Like, oh, I want her. Then you got to look at like the fact that Future and Bow Wow are probably people that he's watched growing up as well. So for some guys, not all, but for some men, they look at it like, okay, well, if I'm messing with a girl that so-and-so was messing with, then that automatically puts me on the same level as so-and-so, especially if I'm spending more money, especially if, you know, she's in love with me and she's talking down on him, you know, especially if we build a life together. Like a lot of dudes, that's how they flex. So he might feel like, yo, well, if I got her and she's my shorty, and Future couldn't keep her, then I'm flyer than Future. You know, I'm really that guy, and I'm younger and I got these girls. So for a lot of them, it's like a trophy. You know, he's young, and this girl, you know, she has experience. You know, she's dealt with men that are of his quote unquote caliber before in his lifestyle. So it's nothing for her to know what words to say, you know, what environments to introduce him to, what suggestions to give him, because she's seen it before. So she knows if Future moves like this, Future buys this type watch. No, don't get that watch, baby, get that watch. So now she might be putting him on some game too. So I think there's a nuance, you know, a lot of nuances as to why he might pick that woman. Me personally, I wouldn't want to pick someone who's had high profile relationships personally, because I just feel like, you know, it brings a little bit too much attention. It doesn't really get you the opportunity to invest in the person, you know, just one-on-one, like it's just me and you, without what everybody else has to say or think about it. But at the same time, you know, I can't really blame him. He's a young guy, you know, that might have been the girl he wants, but he knew he's grown. He could pick whatever he wants. He's 10 years younger, but like Cameron said, he wanted him. You know, she has other high-profile baby fathers, so it's nothing new.
All right, go ahead, Miss. Go ahead.
Can I add something? So there is an age difference, but they both have multiple baby daddies, baby mamas, right? Like Trevon Diggs, she's his third baby mama as well as
what?
Yeah. So she was his third baby mama. He has a baby with a girl named Yasmin Lopez, who actually has a kid with Christian Woods. She has a kid with the Lakers player Christian Woods. And he has a baby with Joie and somebody else that's unknown, the first son that he has. So it's not like they're really doing that much of a difference. Like they're both on the same page in a sense.
Honestly, I feel like me, if I was 36 and I seen a man with, and I can get men of caliber, and I see a 26-year-old with 2 baby mamas, I'm going that way. Especially with the ages that you said, I'm going that way. It's like it's like, what are your intentions at this point with this guy? We already mature faster than men. Plus, she got a 10-year physical age gap on him. It's like, what were your intentions with him? He already have all signs of toxic, and he already in her situation at a younger age. You know what I'm saying? They're in the same situation. She's older and he's younger, so that's even more of a red flag. You're not even 36 yet. So where you gonna be at 36? So it's like, when I feel that the women have an age gap like that, I know men are supposed to lead. I know women are supposed to submit to men, but that situation wouldn't have made sense until you made sure that he has the tools that he needs to lead you. You know what I mean? Like, that's mind blowing to me. Like, you gonna still date this man? He's 26 in the same boat as you at that young? I
It's
ain't
because
doing it.
he got money.
Yeah,
Maybe she wasn't looking to
Yeah,
even
that's
submit. Maybe
Drea.
she was just
Drea,
looking for a baby.
yeah, she
yeah.
was
I
not
mean,
looking for a relationship with him.
That's
I've been
true.
following that girl
exactly.
for years. She wasn't looking for a
That's true.
relationship. She was about a year ago. She was on a podcast talking about she's talking about, imagine having baby fever and you ain't got no man. She's been had baby fever. He just got caught in the trap.
You got to keep in mind too, right? Bow Wow is like not at the peak of his career anymore. Future, it maybe has maybe another 5 to 10 years left to be at the peak of his career. So she's looking for another meal ticket. So she got him while he's young. He's 26. He got another 10 to 15 years in him to keep producing, and that's all she really needs for that baby to be, till that baby gets to college age. So she's good until the baby's a teenager. So it's all part of the game. She gets to continue to extend the lifestyle that she's been living up until this point.
Well, I'm sure she didn't go chasing after him.
I just want to know why, or if these people think that the bag replaces or fixes all of these broken homes that they're creating. Like, I know some people have an opinion that just because you have a baby with somebody doesn't mean you're supposed to be with them. But at the end of the day, we know that, to me, right, a balanced household would include a masculine and feminine energy, right? So I don't understand. I mean, I don't know.
I
It's
think
different values.
I think the industry, the entertainment industry mentality is different than the everyday mentality. So I think that's the difference.
Sure, but raising a kid is universally, I don't want to say the same, but the same. Is at the end of the day, yes, you have children who are born in less wealthy homes, and they have different challenges than somebody who came in with money under them. But no, the neglect or the absence of parents is still going to affect that child emotionally.
Yeah, some people just value money more than anything.
Yeah.
It's just the reality of
I want
it.
to hear what Hank got to say about this.
Come on, Hank, come through.
You're gonna be like, that skeezer.
That heifer wanted his money.
Hey man, shout out to the skeezers, but I think Natasha probably want to go first. She looked like she's being patient up there.
No, I do think that when it comes to in today's society, when you're talking about celebrities versus everyday life, it's going to be different. I think celebrities do operate with different expectations because they do have money involved. So where we might value the father being present, it's not going to be the same for celebrities. They oftentimes put money into situations instead of presence into situations. So I think that's also something to take into consideration.
Okay. Go ahead, Hank.
Well, look, the man's made a mistake. Cameron tried to look out for the young blood. The young blood, they won't listen. But that's a lot of young bloods nowadays. They take that mindset. Yeah, old dude. Yeah, that was your time. It's changed. She's not gonna do it to me. Everybody takes that mindset. Well, she did it to them suckers. But she ain't gonna do it to me. I'm different. I play in the league. I play for the Cowboys. I'm this, I'm that. They the past. I'm here and now. And lo and behold, she played you just like she played them. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody said, yeah, she got that 10-year gap in experience. Her game got tighter. That's all it was. Her game was small when she was with Bow Wow. It was immature. She got with Future. It grew up a little bit. It was at teenage level. Now she grown woman level with her game. And she used and abused my man. I think Chanel said she had baby free. Yeah, she was just looking for some sperm. And dog, you dropped the seed in the wrong one. What you should have did just fucking got up. That's what you should have did. But instead, she put that thing on your chin. And it was good. And it tastes good. It smelled good. It felt good. And now you didn't want to let it go. And you fell in love with it. That pearl tongue. It's a motherfucker, ain't it? We all fall for it every once in a while. But, he's a victim. I feel bad for the young blood, but now he got to suffer from her on out with that child they're going to have. Now, hopefully they can have some type of cordial and respectful relationship. So far, she hasn't shown that, because if you breaking up with this man on social media, yeah, you ain't shit, heifer. You ain't shit. That's a lame-ass move right there. But that's her lifestyle. Look, they both got careers that they short-lived. You know what I'm saying? She ain't got that long money like it, and he's not playing for the long money. His time's gonna come and go. His body's gonna give out, and he's got to eventually retire. Them checks ain't gonna come like they used to no more over a period of time. And what she doing, I don't think it's gonna be a long game. All of a sudden, she's not irrelevant no more on social media. She's gonna get a certain age where certain dudes ain't just looking at her no more. She ain't getting the same attention she was before, like she is now. So then what? What do they got to rely on? Probably nothing. Neither one of them got sense enough coming out the ring, because they both making silly mistakes. But dog, I'm gonna hold it over him a little bit more though. Because if you sit there and watch these two previous dudes, and an old head, an OG came to you, shared with you, poured into you, and told you this is what it's gonna be, and you turn around and fell for the damn banana in the tailpipe, you's a goddamn fool.
I just looked it up. It appears that Trevon Diggs' net worth is $3 million. And these are all estimations, right? But $3 million for him. Bow Wow is $1.5 million. I was surprised with that. And Future's $50 million. I thought Bow Wow had a little bit more money than that. I ain't pocket watching, but I just looked it up for the sake of the show.
Bow Wow got a lot of kids out there, JR.
She greedy.
Wait, Bow
50
Wow or
million?
Future?
She greedy. She is greedy.
I think Future has a lot of kids. I don't know about Bow Wow. I think Bow Wow only has 2.
I thought he was up to 4 now.
Oh, well, maybe I'm late. I didn't know that.
I mean, Kelly, I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think it's just 2.
Okay. Well, with all the hype and story about Ms. Chavis coming out, she decided to address the media about her situation. This is what she had to say.
Okay, so honestly, I get a lot of hate, and people say the most rude, disrespectful, mean things about me every single day. Like, I get tagged in it. I see TikTok videos that people go out of their way to bash and talk about me. I see it in the comments all the time. I honestly, I don't know. Like, I just don't let strangers get to me, or like their opinions of me and my life and the decisions that I make, or, like anything that I do get to me. I can't, because I have 3 kids to raise. I have a business to run, and I need to be in a good mental state in order to do these things successfully. So I just try to block out the noise, and I don't believe any of those things about myself, so I really don't let it get to me. But I see them, and a lot of them are very nasty, and I'm just like, damn. Oh, and lastly, that I'll add, and then I'll just be done with it, because I'm not even going to give it too much attention, but you guys act like I just go out searching for, I don't go looking for nobody, okay? Let's just get that straight. I don't go out looking, searching for nothing. I don't have no intention of, ooh, I'm gonna go do this. Like, no. You guys act like I just meet these people and just get pregnant. Ooh, I'm gonna have a baby. Like, no. It's like years of building with somebody and doesn't work out. Like, okay. And I'm left with a child. Like, okay. I get it. But these aren't strangers. You know what I mean? Just didn't work out. And that's okay. Life goes on. So let's move on. And please keep my daughter out of your guys' comments. Like, what are you teaching your daughter? Worry about your daughter. Worry about what you're teaching your kids. And if you don't have none, worry about having some kids to teach something to, okay? Because I teach my daughter very well. She has seen me in relationships. She's seen it not work out. Yes, she's seen me with a kid. She don't even want no kids. From what I understand.
All right, so let me just read through some of the comments under that video. Minding your business is one of the easiest things to do, yet y'all make it seem like it's a Rubik's Cube. Shaking my head. Mind y'all business. Somebody else says, stop giving these men babies. They do not. She's lacking accountability here. As long as she asking me for money or help, I don't care about my business. That one. 3 baby daddies means there will be a 4th. God damn it. You can fall in love with multiple people, but that doesn't mean you get them babies. So this is what some of the things that she's hearing and reading. What do you guys thoughts about it?
Definitely gonna be a 4th.
Think so?
I mean, she clearly likes children, so why not? You think she's gonna stop at 3? I totally see somebody else getting with her and having a baby with her. Now, whether she wants to get married, that's a whole nother situation. But all women don't want to get married.
I think
I can't see the future, but if she's not getting her tubes tied, I mean, she is very gorgeous. She has a nice body. She seems to have a head on her shoulders as far as business. Personal life, she doesn't expose too much, but I don't know. I mean, Kiki Wyatt has about 11.
But they all by her husband, though.
No, they're not. She has 3 separate men that she has children with.
Oh, I don't know why I thought that was with her husband the whole time.
No. I mean, she was married to him.
I was gonna say I think she's married now, though, right?
She's divorced now. She's divorced. Yeah.
Yeah, she's getting a divorce, but I thought that was all their kids together. That's why I was like, that's a lot to walk away from.
Nah, 3 different husbands.
I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. Is she right? It's none of my business. She right. She absolutely right. It's none of my business. But since it's here and we're here, I'm just disappointed. 36, and those are your explanations. These are your reasons. It's like, what value do you bring to the relationship dating somebody 26 years old? And then it's like, I'm curious to know, what was the reason? What was the reason? Please don't tell me it's the typical reason why you broke up with him. If you're not getting it from guys that's your age, what makes you think you're going to get it from a guy that's 26 years old with 2 kids? Don't make it seem like, oh, I invested this time and I tried to build, and girl back. Girl back. That ain't no sob story. Can't even feel bad because you don't even feel bad for yourself. So it's like, you wanted this life. So yeah, go ahead. Do what you feel like is best. But we've all seen how situations like this turn out, how the kids turn out. Yeah, they grew up in a nice neighborhood and all that other stuff, but it don't stop them from not having that stable father in the household, someone that can dedicate his time to every kid and be there for the kid. It's just sad to see people using kids as just like, it's just like an accessory at this point. It's like almost an accessory, and it's like, yeah, but as long as I'm financially taking care of them, that's all that matters. Like, girl, bad. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Especially as a mother, I don't like that. To me, that's male type mentality behavior. Not to come at all the males or nothing, because like, they like, okay, I'm gonna do this, do that, but for you to be going around as a woman doing that too, I really have like no respect for you. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. And I don't like when men do it. I'm not saying men get a pass for it. I don't like the fact that he's doing it at 26 years old. I hope he matures by the time he's 36. I hope by the time he's 36, he's not going out here still having sex with different women and all this other. You feel me? I hope he's not at 36 still doing this. Like, it's not okay. At what age do we draw the line and say, okay, we're going to mature, and you have resources. You're surrounded by these resources. You're just not, but like I said, it's a Hollywood lifestyle. We see what's going on with Diddy. We hear what's going on. So this is just a lifestyle for them. But there are also people who a lot of our kids look up to. You're an NFL football player. These little boys looking up to you. You feel me? Y'all have some type of, y'all have to realize you signed up to be a role model at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I'm disappointed in both of them.
But I think that's the thing, that like when people become celebrities, I don't think that comes with a contract that says I'm going to be responsible for what people do just because they're watching me. Now, I agree that the internet is a crazy place, and it is difficult sometimes on the receiving end of like negative comments or whatever. But then like, I mean, I guess I'm trying to say, to an extent, yes, we should mind our business, but it is one of those things where kids are watching everything you do, whether you're teaching them like, a certain thing, they're learning from you. No matter what you say, they're watching what you do because you're their first example of what love is, what God is, what all of the things. So it's hard for her to be like, it was hard to hear her be like, well, worry about what you teaching your kids and worry about, because at the end of the day, you sitting on your ass and you comfortable with, how things are going, which at the end of the day, that's her life. And if she chooses to use her situation to be situated that way, then, who are we to say that? But I think my biggest concern would be the kids, you know what I'm saying? And the young women that she's influencing this way. Like, some people might see this as a life path or a career. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm seeing how, I could, the epidemic of BBLs and the things, no judgment to anybody who does any improvement to their bodies or whatever they feel that's necessary so they feel good about themselves or they like what they see when they look in the mirror, but we had a spike. That's just facts, right? We had a spike in those things because that it seems to be what might be a money grab to some people. And I think it was unrealistic, so I think it does add to people not being like in reality, you know what I mean? Like with what that will do for you on a daily basis if you're not a Joie Chavis, for instance, you know what I'm saying? Because she a beast though. She be dancing, she be on fitness shit, and she is gorgeous. So we're gonna give her that. But that might be a 1% or however many percent, that can get away with something like that. But I think, like I said, my biggest concern would be the children more than anybody, or like young girls watching her thinking this is the way to do it, which I would have respected more if she had sent that message like, girls, listen, don't do what I do. There's only one that can do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I would respect that more than just acting nonchalant about it. But she don't have a contract.
I think
celebrity or not, it's real suspect having 3 kids by 3 different men.
It's the same with men. The same with men having 3 different kids with 3 different women.
But look, unfortunately, all she's kind of doing is perpetuating like the feminist idea that women can do it on their own, right? Like she, like y'all said, she's pretty savvy with business. She's attractive, clearly she can find another partner at will. So that's kind of the consequence of the environment that we live in, where women could do it on their own. And so people are wondering why the guy would leave or why he would keep creating baby mothers, because he knows that there are women who will gladly take a child and raise that child all on their own. And they'll put in all the effort and they'll do everything necessary and even fight to raise the kid on their own. So it's really all about stimulus and response, supply and demand, all of those things. It's basic economics. If women are shouting at the mountaintops that they can do it by themselves, and then they're demonstrating that they can do it by themselves, then a lot of the men are just gonna be like, cool, let her do it by herself. I could focus on football. I could focus on basketball. I could go chase down another girl and give her a baby too, because guess what? Don't matter how many babies I can create, these chicks can handle it. She already got 2. What's one more? So I think that that's the environment that's being created now. unfortunately for her, actually not unfortunately for her, but what I found was ironic is when she was asked, how does this affect her daughter or what she's teaching her daughter, she was kind of defensive about that and saying people should worry about what they're teaching their daughters. But then she slipped up and gave a little bit of insight. And if you notice, the insight she gave was that her daughter doesn't want kids. Now, I don't know how old her daughter is, but to me, that's a direct reflection of what her daughter is seeing. Well, her daughter is seeing that there's a lot of confusion that happens with getting with somebody and having children. So what she's saying is, you know what? I'm just going to opt out of having children entirely. So regardless of how she wants to look at it, it obviously does have an impact on the next generation. So,
Absolutely.
I think there should be something done about it. It's just that unfortunately, her success is unfortunately sending the wrong message. The fact that she can do it and post these pictures with her smiling children and cute outfits and all in designer, and the fact that she can, show her pictures of her success and her lifestyle, people are going to be like, oh, well, look at her. She got 3 kids, all 3 different dads, and she is killing it. So I can have 3, 4, 5 baby daddies. It don't matter because I could crush it too as an independent woman. I can do both, and I don't have to listen to any man or submit at all in order to get what I want. So I think that's kind of the message being sent, and it's also sending the men the message that they don't really got to be responsible as long as they could pay that child support. And I don't know if people realize, but that's what a lot of guys' mentality is. Their mentality is, well, the child support's another bill. I'll just pay the child support. How much is it? $5,000 a month? Cool, I'll pay it. As long as I can pay the child support, I can keep making kids. So if I'm making $100,000 a month and the child support's only $5,000 a month, I could afford like 10. So fuck it. Why not? I'm gonna get her. She's bad. I'm gonna put a baby in her. She's bad. She's bad. I'm gonna put a baby in her. And I'm gonna just run around with these cute babies, and I'm gonna have a collection under my belt of all the baddies. And that's the mentality of this young generation. That's what building is for them. She's talking about building, but the building to them isn't really like a marriage. The building is getting a bag and having a baby. So that's what they did. They got a bag. They took some pictures. They had a baby. Move on to the next person to build with. Get a bag, have a baby, and build again with somebody else. But they're not building nothing permanent. And I land there.
But both parties are making that choice too, so we can't really blame one or the other.
I'm not blaming the guys or girls. I'm just saying that the environment in general is creating guys who don't see the need for the responsibility, and it's creating a lot of women who are saying, look, I could do this myself. I don't need him. So it's hard to incentivize people to get married and stick together and only have one partner that they're having children with when we have an environment that encourages the opposite.
Or she's just making the decision to not try to stick it out with one person. She's just keeping it moving.
But I think it's interesting we talked about her doing it by herself because, yes, they may not physically, who's to say they are physically in the house or not, or physically around their children. But let's be honest, like, I didn't know. And Joey, let me say this, is a phenomenal dancer. So I don't mean no shade when I say this, but like, because how can we say she's doing it by herself? First of all, only reason we really knew about Joey to begin with, because she is a man's baby mother. So, you know what I'm saying? She's riding off these checks. So that's totally not really doing it by herself. I can't agree that it's like perpetuating the idea that women can do it by themselves. But I do think, though, like I saw a tweet today, and I guess the platform is now known as X or whatever, that it said the most dangerous thing to society right now is unintelligent women. And I think that is something serious, that we don't even think about or investigate. And I think women as a whole might be tired. We don't want to have to physically fight, mentally fight with our men to see things in a new light. And it's almost like what we have to do sometimes is in silence and move a certain way. So I'll table that. But I did want to put that out there about that danger to society being women.
I do want to ask a question.
I just want to clear it up. I'm not blaming her. It's just I'm big on holding my gender accountable, because I know when I'm surrounded by women that's healed and looking to, just a certain type of woman, I tend to hold women accountable more than men, because it's like if we don't start cleaning it up now, like she said, I'm a big believer in that. They already did it with the men and the hip hop, and now they're doing it to the women in society. So when we start doing what they're doing too, it's like, dang, who was left to our society at that point?
Can I ask the lady something real quick?
I don't think the thing about it, that's part of the problem. We got to blame. There's got to be some type of blame. We can't not blame. I know she's a beautiful woman, but she holds some blame in this situation. Look, at the end of the day, this man's going to eventually stop getting them checks. That's what I was saying before. Them NFL checks are not going to continue the rest of his life. They're not. They're not going to be as big as they are when he was in his first two contracts. So when them checks start to get smaller, then what? He gonna look like them other dudes who crying about later on down. Hey, I need to lower my child support payment because I can't afford it no more because I'm not making that type of money like I used to. You got a lot of former players talking like that. You hear them speaking like that. Yeah, I need to lower my child support because my money ain't coming in like they used to. So I need to make some adjustments. Yeah, they not looking at the long game. That's the part of the problem. They're not looking at the long game. And her, like you mentioned, her own daughter said, I don't even want kids. Why? Because she knows her mother's a hoe. She knows that her mother ain't shit. She realized that. She's saying it without saying it to her goddamn mother. My mom was a goddamn hoe, and I don't want to be a hoe like her, having all these goddamn kids with all these different dudes. She has no idea what a stable family or marriage look like. She said, oh, well, I was in what she considered a long-term relationship was probably a 2-year relationship. And then she's on to the next man, and the next man, and the next man. That's what her daughter's seeing. And so she thinking that's the norm. That's what it's supposed to be. Hell no. Why would you want to teach your daughter that? So now the cycle's going to continue. She going to turn around and be a baby mama. And then her daughter's going to be a baby mama. Why? Because she seen her mother do it and knowing her grandmother did it. That's trash. So yeah, there's going to be some blame somewhere. Now him, as a man, he ought to be ashamed of himself. Why would you want to put yourself all over the world like that? And you can't always be in your kids' life. First of all, you play NFL schedule. You're not going to be available anyway during a certain part of the season. And now you got these kids, they can live across the country. They always in the West Coast. You always in Dallas living somewhere. So how are you going to get to see your kids on a regular basis? You're not. Unless you're in a relationship with this woman and you're living with these women and you got cousins, his kids, and more than likely you probably don't. He just out there putting it out there just anywhere. So he's not even being responsible. And that's the sad part about it.
I just wanted to say, I'd like to think that if I was a woman or if I was in the position of a woman where I could get pregnant and we have birth control, we have condoms, we have so many methods that women can use for contraception and all that. I always wonder, why would a woman put herself in a position to be left to raise a baby alone? Why wouldn't a woman want to put a man in a position where it's you make him get locked in first before you do that? Because I've just know because we have so many options, and yet so many women still decide that even with no assurances from the man at all, that they're willing to have a baby, they're willing to bring the baby to term. And it's we fought, women have fought to be able to have the option to terminate a pregnancy if necessary, to be able to have contraception, to be able to have birth control and all those things. And even with all of those things in place, so many women still say, no, I still want to do this on my own, knowing the risks involved. So that's the thing that boggles my mind. What is the possible incentive or reason that a woman would want to do that? Because I think that if I was a woman, I would want to be no, before I have a baby with you, you need to put a ring on this finger, or you need to lock me down because I need some type of assurances that I'm not going to be alone with this kid, So that's one thing I've just never been able to say. And I'm hoping maybe some of the ladies can give insight, because obviously I'm not a woman. I can't really understand that.
I think it's selfishly for monetary reasons.
Yeah, I don't
Anytime
think
a woman,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Coco. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, anytime a woman intentionally, if she wants to have a kid knowing that she's going to be the only one, there's a ultimate goal outside of the man for that baby. I have 2 friends that don't want to be married and they just want to have kids too. And they're planning, they're knowing that if this guy don't want to be around, I'm fine. That's just where we're at now. And there are some that I know they had kids with the intentions that they were going to be with that person. One girl, 3 baby daddies, 3 kids. But the first one died, give her reception. The second one disappeared, and the third one they're not together. So I think a lot of it is situational. But all 3, she was in love with them, and she thought they was gonna be together. It's the decisions and the person you choose.
That's what I was saying. Naive. That's all I have to say. Some people might be naive, and like she said, for monetary value, like. Mm.
I
So
almost
go ahead, Kel.
I almost feel it's like playing the lottery, right? Like you have to play in order to win. So when you're dealing with guys like him who are not necessarily high value but high earning, either you can secure them by being with them, getting married to them, and having that life, or you could secure them for the next 18 years because now they're at least financially responsible for this child that they had. They may not be in that child's life 24/7, but at least you still are attached to that person in some capacity. So you may not get all the perks, but you get some of them. That's how I see it. I mean, it could be different. I don't have any kids with a Trevon Diggs or anything like that, so I don't know. But just on the outside looking in at how this cycle is repeated, that's what I see. Because it didn't just start with her. People have been linked to athletes for years and haven't necessarily married them, but they had kids with them and they built a great lifestyle for themselves just off of being with that person. And that's just the truth. And it's not just with athletes, it's just with wealthy men in general.
What about with like broke dudes? Because I see that happen with broke dudes too in the hood. Like, dude will have nothing and he'll have like 6 kids.
I don't know. Maybe you all can answer that.
I think that's a different
I don't want
situation.
to chime in on broke niggas, but I want to chime in on something about that. Like, y'all, I don't feel like there's a way to even discuss this without bringing up patriarchy. Like, y'all might hear me say this in more than one sitting because this is the now. This is what it is. This is where we are coming from. Okay, we can't control the adverse reactions, the spectrum of reactions to patriarchy or to anything, right? Like something can happen. Boom, there are a bunch of different reactions that come from stuff like that. I'm gonna bring it around, Cloud. Hold on, because you look like you got something to say about patriarchy.
I'm just a little confused. Go ahead, do your thing, baby. Do your thing.
So all I'm saying is if we go from a system, right? Because if anybody doesn't know what patriarchy is, it is a system set up to benefit men. And I know, especially our brothers, y'all have a hard time accepting that a system was made for men to be above women. But let's look at the Bible. There were stories ripped out of there that would to make women feel less or look less. Look at how women's basketball, people like, oh, I thought all women, that just got famous, right? I thought all the girls basketball players was gay, or they didn't see the value in it until now when we see it. Oh, damn. Angel Reese fine as hell. Oh, this person fine. Like, we're starting to get a rise of women's sports all of a sudden when they've been around for a long time. But it was really about men. It was really, again, I talked about this last time, men being able to provide for their homes and women not being able to work less than 100 years ago, right? So there's a disconnect. And I'm bringing that around to say this, to say, like, if we have a situation like Joey, right, she might say, you know what? Okay, do I gotta go choose a regular life and go to work every day and stress myself out and pay these bills or I'm finna sit on my ass and I'm finna go use what God gave me in this short time of life and I'm gonna go live a great life, right? Because we know if we living off of a child support check of $50 million, that's more money than a lot of people gonna see in their whole lifetime. So she's making choices that at the end of the day benefit her. You know what I'm saying? It may not be to somebody's taste buds, it may not be to people's liking, but if we're talking about a difference in economic status, it's a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I struggle? Why would I struggle if I could do that? Now, that might not be my choice, but I'm saying that to say, I also like Kelly said earlier, I'm not with a Tay, or I'm not with a Future. I'm not with, and not to say that I wouldn't be open to something like that, but I'm gonna look at him too and be like, now you got too many kids. That might just be too much for me to deal with. You know, it might be not be a price tag that you can put on that for some women, but for some women who have been doing this, paying the bills and a mortgage and a phone and a car and all the things by themselves with no man, because they don't want to be controlled, they don't want to be abused, they don't want to be talking about half and half, raising children, cleaning the house, and all of the things it's a job. It's still a job. So I mean, maybe she just shows her job on that ass and let me develop that ass so that I could be sitting on a different type of check than some people would ever see.
Hey, Rami,
Right? Like
Ray, my bad, Ray.
Yes.
So I definitely understand the second part, but blaming patriarchy for it, for her having kids by 3 different dudes, that's I don't understand how that correlates.
Can I put it together for you?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Absolutely. So if we're already at a disadvantage, right? Hear me out. If there's a difference, because patriarchy, would you say that, you know, the man goes to work and get money, the woman, she can't go to work, right? And so now we're all coming into, you know, different years, 2024. The women are starting to now catch up aggressively economically, but initially there was a gap, right? There was even 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you know, our parents were still doing I got to get a husband, because that's what even the government will cut you a check depending on how many kids you have, right? Like, all I'm saying is, if there's a gap, if I want to get to the top and live that life, I don't know where Joey came from. That's why women chase athletes. That's why she said never chase, but that's why I go for it.
The gap was choice, though. Let me just add this one thing. Let me just add this one thing.
Let me back her up real quick, because he
gap,
want to talk about the patriarchy.
the gap.
Y'all, my mic, they can't hear.
Go ahead.
The gap was choice, right? So you're talking about this gap between men and women.
Woo-hoo.
The gap, hold on, let me finish. The gap was choice, meaning you're talking about the difference between patriarchy and feminism. The difference between patriarchy and feminism is that women now have choice. So you can't blame a woman freely exercising her choice on patriarchy, because patriarchy would be an environment where she doesn't have choice. So those two things can't exist. They're contradictory.
If you don't think that we're still living in patriarchy in a patriarchal society, I think we're having a different conversation.
No. I'm not trying to make a decision about whether we're in a patriarchal or non-patriarchal society. What I'm saying is that her as a woman is exercising free choice. If she's exercising free choice, then those decisions cannot be the consequence of patriarchy. Because patriarchy,
I get what you're saying.
because she by exercising her free choice, she's not subject to patriarchy. A woman who is subject to patriarchy would be a woman who doesn't have choice. So, for example, a woman who, for example, was a housewife who had no job. A woman with a housewife, for example, with no job, who then had a bunch of children, that you could say that she was subject to patriarchy, and her having the children was because she was subject to patriarchy. But you're not dealing with a woman under those circumstances. You're dealing with a woman who's free to make her own choices about her body, which is why I specifically mentioned the fact that we have birth control, we have abortion, we have women's rights, like women have health rights. So because of that, the choice is entirely her, because I always hear my body, my choice. So we can accept women's autonomy. We can accept women's autonomy. You're really interrupting me a lot.
Learning from her.
We can accept women's autonomy when it comes to making decisions about their own body. But then what you're trying to do is rob her of that autonomy and then say that it's now somehow the fault of the patriarchy. So which one is it? No. Is she a woman? Is she in the world of feminism? Is she a woman who has the right to choose? Or is she not a woman with the right to choose who is subject to patriarchy? Both cannot be true. So which one is true?
Cloud, let me say this. So when she say patriarchy, she's not talking about, like, I get what you're saying. We do have to hold her accountable, but where she's talking about how patriarchy in the past is affecting us now. Just like black people in their rights. You sound like black, like when they say, oh, how do we say now? Black people are not technically free. Yes, we have certain rights. Yes, we can start businesses. Yes, we can do things that we couldn't do when we back then when we were enslaved. Same thing as women. Back then we didn't have rights. So remember, because we didn't have rights, we had to endure a lot of things from men that we did not want to endure
But none of you
in the
existed during
household. Wait,
that
wait, let me
period.
finish. Let me
None of
finish.
you existed then.
Let me finish. Let me finish. We had to endure things in the household that we did not want to endure, mainly because why? Because you guys made the most money, because you made the most money. So now, remember, men are the leaders. Men set the tone. So y'all, in that way, have disregarded our feelings because you were making the most money. And I'm not blaming y'all because this is part of the European structure. They did this stuff on purpose. They made y'all, not made y'all, but they conditioned a lot of men to treat women and disregard their feelings when they were running the household, making all the money. Now that we have a chance to make some money, we're like, okay, since y'all used the excuse to treat us how y'all wanted to treat us when y'all was making all the money, now that we have some money, we want to do things. And it's some women that takes that to the extreme, like to the complete extreme, to the point where, like they said, she might not get married. You know what I'm saying? But that is what she was saying. She's not saying patriarchy. Like, no, it's the system. It's part of the
And
trauma we've
I
So,
endured as women.
all right. So,
Hold on,
what?
hold on, because we got to get other people that haven't been speaking either. The same people are talking, so let's make sure we shut a mic. Tosh, you want to get in there?
I agree with Raimi and Di. I think absolutely there is an instance in this situation where it can be contributed to patriarchy, but I also think with the situation with what's her name, Joie Chavis, that was just a decision that she made. And she seems to be proud about the decision that she made. She's boasting and bragging like, okay, well, this is what I'm doing, and I have 3 kids by 3 different men. I absolutely think that's a decision that she made. But I think in terms of what Raimi's talking about, there are also limitations that are placed on women by society and by men that limit us as women.
Okay.
I have a question.
Hold on, y'all. Let me go to Chanel. Let's go to Chanel and Hink, and then come back around to everybody else.
I didn't even get to say.
Oh, okay. I got you, Viz.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I really didn't feel like I answered your question all the way. I just wanted
Yeah, like I
Because
asked
I
the
wanted
question and I was trying to get
Rainy
more
to
out of
finish.
it, but then everybody else jumped in because I
Okay.
was still
Yeah.
confused.
Okay, let's let Viz go ahead and process through whatever he got to say. Let's take it to Raimi and then Hink. And then we'll come back around to everybody else. I'm going to get Kelly in there too.
So I get what you guys are saying. It just, to me, it just doesn't make sense for, if we're blaming patriarchy, it doesn't make sense for a woman to go out intentionally and have children by 3 different guys, and where she's not marrying them. I could see if she married them and then divorced them after she got the baby or some shit like that. I could maybe understand that part. But the fact that she's literally free, patriarchy, in overall is controlling a woman. If he would have married, if she would have married her, or if he would have forced her to marry him, then I can understand that. So are you guys saying that they're rebelling against patriarchy, so this is the action that they're doing in order to rebel against it? Is that what's influencing them, or the conversation that you're trying to have? Because it just doesn't make sense to how patriarchy is the cause of her making sole decisions for herself that affects her and her children.
So I'm sorry. Were you done, Viz?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm done.
Okay. So I want to start by saying that yes, I'm not blame. Let me say this. I'm not blaming patriarchy, right? Because you're right. We're in a situation right now to date that we can make our own choices. However, I want you guys to please consider, just like Di was saying, after slavery, for instance, there are still trickle down effects. Can we agree with that, right? So with patriarchy, there are still trickle down effects. Why do you think there are so many women standing on being single right now? Because that y'all don't date men, right? Y'all not in the dating ring with men. So we are. And what I've experienced, and see, I chose to not have kids right now, right? I don't have any children, whether it be economic, because organisms at a basic level, they procreate and recreate in favorable situations, right? That's just basic science. If it's not a good enough environment, it will die off, it will not live, right? So what I'm saying is, economically, she might have decided in her mind, okay, instead of living a such and such life, where I'm struggling to do this by myself, let me go run this check. Now, I'm not saying that makes it right, but that is her choice. Because at the end of the day, the same way I made the choice to not go sleep with somebody to pay my bills, or not go do this and do that, or not be subject to men just because they got a bag, she made the choice to, guess what? I'm finna hit it and quit and getting paid. Now, that might not be the right way to go about changing the narrative for women across the globe. That may not be the right way to go about it, right? Per the way we're trying to, we're on this call or this talk to incite change, to be inspired, to have these type of conversations. I get it. But what I'm saying is, we have to consider that there are still effects of patriarchy right now. And if you don't believe that, I don't know how we can move forward. And what I'm saying with that is, she made a choice that would benefit her life. Again, $50 million, getting a piece of that, a portion of that, is more than most people will see in their lives. So I can't, I'm not here to,
patriarchy.
Huh?
That's not I just don't understand how that's a trickle down effect of patriarchy.
I think patriarchy exists, but not in this instance. I think this instance is just a matter of her being selfish and wanting to capitalize on a situation individually. I don't think it's a patriarchy situation, even though, yes, Raimi, it does exist, but she's just being greedy. She's just finding the next paycheck and popping out a baby so that way she could collect a paycheck.
She's just saying it
All right,
started with.
But this is my thing. At what point, right? What point is equitable, right? Because this is my thing, right? And we do this with a lot of things in a lot of situations in life. It's like there's a problem, the problem gets remedied, but yet we continue to talk about the problem. So if there's an uneven, if someone has an uneven advantage in a game, in a basketball game, the hoop is too high. I'm tall, you're short, the hoop is too high. Okay, so we lower the hoop halfway down. So now it's an even distance between me and you, but I'm still winning. At what point do we have to at what point do we accept that something was done about the lack in equity and that there's nothing you can do about the outcomes being equal? Because I think everyone's trying to get an equal outcome somehow, and you just can't. There's no way possible to get an equal outcome. So at some point you have to be able to accept, hey, yes, there was patriarchy. There was a time where women didn't have choices, but guess what? Women have choices now. We can't why are we even talking about a time when women didn't have choices when that's not the case now? Sure, it happened, but none of you lived through it. And we're living through a time where you all have the freedom to choose whatever the heck you want to choose. So I just don't get, when are we going to accept that all the laws that limited women's rights were done away with? Women now currently have all the rights, but y'all still keep talking about
something.
Y'all continuously as women talk about a lack of equity in a time where you did not exist. You were not even a thought, but you're referencing it as though it somehow influences the conditions you're living under, and it doesn't in any way, shape, or form.
Cloud,
none of you were housewives. None of you grew up in the color purple. None of y'all were getting whipped. Woman, go fix me a sandwich. None of y'all had to shave. None of y'all had to shave.
You don't know that.
Y'all on this panel.
And there are still, you don't know that. And there are still women
were sold into marriage by your father.
You don't know what
shave your man with a razor.
You're putting the noose around your neck.
Ain't gonna stop
what the hell?
So I just don't understand what fantasy world y'all living in. Like
the
y'all,
other
like
part
this
of it
isn't
too.
what
All
we
right,
asked
all
y'all
right.
to
I'm
do.
gonna have to start putting the time on y'all just so we can make sure we're spreading the mic, man.
Hey, so the other part of it too. We right now in 2024, we have seen an explosion of women that are millionaires, if not multimillionaires. Not to put out Kelly's information, but I think I remember her saying on one show that she makes 100K. So it's, and a lot of people, even men, won't see that in a year. So we're in a position, women are in a position, black people are in a position to capitalize in a nation that is that runs off of capitalism. So yes, there are instances that may hinder a person from achieving a certain number, a certain amount of money. But if you are, especially now with the power of entrepreneurship and earning your place in the corporate field, you can absolutely make that money. But to all that she's doing, Raimi, if you're using the $50 million, all that is realistically at the end of the day, that's prostitution. Because if she wanted a family, if we're blaming patriarchy, which most women want a man that's going to lead them, that is a part of patriarchy. So it goes against everything that you're saying about it.
Well, Vic,
Because if
if I have
that's all that she's
time
going for, that
out,
I'm just popping out these babies
let's
just
take
to
the money out of
lock
it.
in a certain type of lifestyle that's gonna bag me 50 million, then that don't have shit to do with patriarchy.
Let's take the money out of it. What I'm talking about is the mental effects of patriarchy as well. They have been passed down. When women don't talk to young girls about how to date, who to date, their vaginas, and what to do with them, they
Why
don't.
not?
So what I'm saying is, it's a mental. The same way keeping people enslaved for how many years. It has nothing to do with money. It's about how you're teaching women,
So
right? The
so
same way
why
we.
aren't we teaching our women then? Why
It's the way
so
y'all
why
treat us and the way y'all think about us. Like we said before, to be a
Thank you.
woman is bad. Stop crying like a girl. You're acting like a woman. You're playing like a woman. They purposely, and
who
when there's some women out there, just like this girl going around Illinois right now playing basketball at all the fitness centers, and they like, oh, that's a girl. She played like a girl, but she end up busting every dude that come on the court. Y'all sit here and put these things, play like a girl, act like a girl, being anything like a woman is bad. They have always been like that. The way
and
y'all treat us, why? Just think about it. Imagine, and it's like, I'm surprised that y'all can't get it because it's like, think about what the white people say to us. Well, why y'all still killing each other? It's still, y'all
Being
got
like a man is bad for
opportunities,
women.
y'all have schools, y'all have this, y'all have that, and y'all
why
saying
are
the same
we
thing as,
still
oh, well,
killing each
laws were
other?
passed. Y'all saying the same thing to us, where laws was passed, and y'all can do this and y'all can do that, but still in a relationship, there are things and ways that you're treating us as women, and we feel like we don't want to deal with that. Back then we had to deal with it, but now we feel like we want a little bit more respect. We want to be included on the conversation when you making business decisions, because like you said, we're bringing money to the table too. We want to be
Because of
included in
penis
things
envy.
that we were not included in. We want a certain level of respect that we did not get back in the day, because we were told that we wouldn't deserve the respect because we wasn't working, we wasn't putting food on the table, we wasn't putting a roof
Who
over our
told you
head.
that?
So it's a certain way, and like we said, and it's just us as
When
women.
did you hear
How
that
you
in
wait?
your
Let me
life?
finish. Let me finish. How y'all want to be respected as men is gonna look different about how we want to feel as women. You know what I'm saying?
Of
Y'all might
course.
not be able to relate to it because it might not be important to you, but there are things that you do as men that y'all think is little because it's not as big as paying the bills and providing the household, that we hold to a very high standard. And now to y'all, it looks like we're just leaving for no reason, when in reality, we've always felt like this in life. It's just back in the day, we couldn't say nothing.
Hold on,
But I
hold on,
think
hold
it's
on.
also
Hold
it's
on, hold on,
also
hold on, hold on.
unrealistic to just be
Just
like,
Hold on,
well,
y'all.
what are you teaching your children?
Hold on,
y'all.
hold on. Y'all been talking a whole lot, man. A whole lot. Let me say some shit. God damn. So Ray, you gave some examples. You all over the place with your goddamn example. You went from WNBA to patriarchy and to saying women ain't allowed to work. There's never not been a time period where black women has not worked before. I don't know why you even say some shit like that. Now, maybe your white counterparts, they can say that shit. But black women always had worked. There's never not a time period where black women ever not worked. Where did this come from? That makes no sense to me. You always had the opportunity.
No, we always work, but we always didn't get paid for it. There's a difference.
No, you did get paid for it. There was a period of time where you
didn't
get paid for it.
No, we didn't. Especially when we started working, we were not getting paid.
He's clearly talking about after slavery.
Now you didn't interrupt.
No one's talking about slavery either.
That's the only time they wasn't getting paid for it.
I fairly talk. Y'all want to start interrupting me. How's that shit work? So women didn't, when women was working for free, we all work for free. It ain't like the men was out there working, got paid. No, we had to work free just like y'all had to work for free. But then when the opportunity presented itself, y'all was allowed to work. Y'all worked for the white women. Y'all was maids. Y'all was ironing their sheets. Y'all was nursing their little children. That was y'all ways of working. Y'all always work. So don't sit there and make them statements, well, we didn't get the opportunity to work. 2024, there's no excuses now. Patriotic is what gave y'all the opportunity that y'all have now. Patriotic is what got Kamala Harris as a goddamn vice president. Patriotic is what you got all of these female congresswomen. Patriotic is what you got all these goddamn senators that are female. That's what patriotic did. So without patriotic, a lot of these ladies wouldn't have the opportunity that you would have. Patriotic got you the opportunity to talk freely and do what you're doing now. That's what patriotic got.
Pink, you can't even say the word right, so I don't want to.
It's still the same. It's still the same. The definition doesn't change. Regardless if I can say it right or not, we all know what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Y'all still.
I think what we're not taking into consideration here is how hard does a woman have to work to be equal to a man. A woman has to work 10 times harder to be equal to a man and has to work 20 times harder to be equal to her white counterpart.
Black women got to work 10 times harder than a black man? Garbage.
Ladies, why do y'all want to be equal to us? Why do y'all want to be equal? Y'all don't
We
want to deal with the same.
want to be equal, but we would like to be financially treated the same. We would like to be respected the same.
Hold on. Which one of y'all is hanging off a garbage truck at 5 a.m.?
I don't want to.
Hold on. Which one of y'all is?
I don't want
to. I've seen plenty of women hanging off the garbage truck as they pass by my house.
There are definitions of
which one of y'all are dying in the mind?
Wrong. There are things that men do. Let me say, I think we're gonna always have a disconnect until we understand or understand, right? That there are things that men do that we will never want to do, never have to do, all of the things, right? And we're gonna give y'all flowers with that because black men, men, whoever chiming into this, men, period. There are things that y'all do and that y'all go through and y'all experience that, we could just never understand. But let's be for real though. Do y'all even understand? First of all, half the women don't understand themselves or what they're here for and who they are. And that is what I'm talking about, Viz, is a response of patriarchy, right? That's
men experience that as well though.
Okay, but see, it's always a Me Too thing. I gave you your flowers. Can we talk about what we need as women? Because you're not one.
No,
you don't know what it's like to as a woman, emotional. If I'm an emotional creature, right? I'm an emotional creature by nature. My physical body and makeup is meant to receive. It is, right? I'm not here to argue about it. All I'm saying is, if y'all don't have an understanding of what we need emotionally, y'all are always going to tear us down. We're going to find another way to fill that hole. All I'm saying is y'all don't respect us the same way when we speak about what we need. Y'all almost do this. Don't nobody care about that shit. And to me, that is an effect of patriarchy because it just turns y'all brain off. When we ask y'all to be emotional, y'all don't know how to do that because y'all weren't taught that. But here we are as women always being compassionate to understand where you grew up from, how you grew up, how they didn't teach you this, how it's hard for you. But as soon as we start speaking about what we need and how it's difficult for us and what ways it's difficult for us, you all turn your brains off. You turn your ears off to it. And we're your women, we're your black women telling you, baby, we need this. But y'all don't want to listen to us. And all of us are on here saying the same thing. I don't want to make the same thing as a man. I'm sorry. I would love to be at homemaking, right? To be honest, right? But if I don't have a counterpart who is willing to meet me where I need to be met, it's going to be difficult. I don't want to make the same paycheck. I don't want to go out and protect. I don't want to fight. I want to sit here with you and tell you, baby, I need this type of support. This is what I find is important as a woman. These are the things that I deal with on a monthly. My shit sinks up to the moon every month. Let me tell you about that spiritually. Let me tap in with you on that. Let me talk to you about what I learned today spiritually that can cover you the way your mama do. Because y'all don't want to hear that shit though.
Well, so Raimi,
this is gaslighting. Y'all realize
hold
this,
on,
right?
hold on,
Because
wait.
this conversation was not about women's needs.
Hold
This
on,
conversation was about
let me.
this conversation was about her trying to tie in that woman's behavior into patriarchy. That's
let me say something real fast.
Let me address it real quick.
So Ray, where was your compassion at when I sit there and said you don't even know how to say the word patriarch? Where was that then? But you want to be treated nice and equal, right?
Hold on, but Hank, did I not say?
Oh,
When we first,
you gave
hold
me
on.
shit about
Here we go with the Me Too shit. Here we go with
but
the
you
Me
want
Too
some
shit,
sympathy.
Hank. You just
But you
forgot
want some
when we
sympathy.
first heard that clip. What I said?
But you want some
When we
sympathy,
first
right?
heard the clip, what I say, Hank? When we first heard the clip, what I say?
All right,
I said I want to hear what Hank got to say.
Wait,
But you forgot about that though. You only remember when I called you out.
But when I sit there, when you said you accusing me of mispronouncing the word patriarchy,
you did.
You gonna sit there and give me hell, give me, but you want some sympathy. You want to be treated different.
I don't need your sympathy. I don't need your sympathy. You got a wife. That's for her. What I'm saying is to men who are listening across the town, this is what Black women need. Now, you got a wife, Hank. I'm not trying to appeal to you. I love you though. But I'm not trying to appeal to your sympathy.
You don't want just sympathy from non-married men, do you?
I don't get the boy bye, Hank. That's all I got to say to you.
So Raimi, I absolutely get and understand exactly what you're saying, right? So
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
You good. All right. So look, I 100% understand what you're saying. Most, if not all, good Black men that appreciate Black women, they have acknowledged that they if you're in a healthy relationship, that is something that man is going to do with you every single day. That's just going to be a part of it. I hope, but it's a healthy. That's why I said a healthy, good relationship. Now, if you're not receiving that, then of course you're not in a good, healthy relationship. So you're in the wrong environment as is. So now the key point though is that most men acknowledge all of those things that you brought up, but there was something.
No, they don't. Look at all us shaking our head. No, they don't, Viz.
All right.
That's not our experience.
They don't. And that's what I mean by patriarchy, respectfully. You know,
I get that. I get that. Let me finish. Let me finish. So if you guys are not receiving that, then that means that you're not in good and healthy relationships, or you're not adapting to understand how that man communicates. Because in order, if men communicate one way, women communicate another way, and you're only expecting for him to learn how to communicate with you, but you're not learning to communicate with him, then there's always going to be confusion there. That's always going to happen. So that comes with having a healthy and good relationship.
But these examples that we're speaking about right now are not the healthy ones. You know what I mean? That's what we're saying. Like when it comes to the dating pool.
That at that point, the only observation that we can give is that is poor decision making. Right?
No.
So now there was something. Let me finish. So there was something that you had said, Di, when you was like, dudes be like, oh man, she play like a girl, or if a guy said, oh, she throw like a girl or something, that doesn't mean that that's something bad. That just means that women, of course, aren't the same as men. You can't compete on the same level, which is why there's a whole thing about having trans women not in sports with women, because that's just what it is. So for a man to say that, oh, she throw like a girl, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that it's something bad. That just means that she throws like a girl.
So I feel like
there's
you want to pick and
definitely a
choose which
negative
examples
connotation
that I
attached to
give
that.
And when I
I
say
can
that,
explain
it's
that one.
because I also gave the example when it came down to the little boys. This is the reason why it's so hard for y'all to connect with us in the first place. When there's a little boy crying, he fell, he hurt his knee, there's blood everywhere. He's 2 years old. Get up, stop crying like a little girl, stop acting like a little girl. Versus, okay, let me wipe your knee. You cool? Look, you see you okay? Look, you not gonna die.
So
Breathe. It's cool. There's
The
things
reason
like that.
why,
And
do you
can I
want
explain
to
that?
be do you
The,
want to be with a soft man that cries
no,
when
it
he
has
falls?
nothing to do with being
listen,
soft.
the,
Everybody gets
the
emotional, and
the
that's the
reason why,
problem. When y'all make it seem like emotions and having any type of emotion is only attached to women, it
no,
stops y'all from
That's
opening up
not what
that
that
type of.
means. That's
No, but
not
I'm
what that
telling you,
that's
means.
that's
not what
how a
that
lot of
means.
your men take it. You have to remember, y'all say this a lot of times on this podcast. Y'all are not the norm when it comes down to men. And this the connect when it
Die,
comes down to our pool of men who are not like you. They are not emotionally in tune enough to be
die.
like you said, sit down. You said that at the beginning of your statement. Most men would do that. Yes, most husbands, but if you're married, that means you were healed and healthy enough to be married. We're talking about the people that's still single. We're talking about the people that still having that disconnect. We're talking about the people that still can't get it together, and the women that's constantly leaving after what he say every 1 to 2 years. I 100% agree with you on that though. I do agree that women don't know how to sometimes communicate, or they're not communicating correctly. I do feel like women are not prioritizing the right things at times. And then when they look at the outcome, they're like, oh, well, why is it like this? Well, you weren't concerned about his mental health. You weren't concerned about how he was dealing with things. So then he went off and got another woman who was willing to listen to those type of things, but you was too busy worried about getting this, and that. And then when things start changing, you didn't notice the mood in his behavior because you was too busy trying to take things from him. I definitely understand those situations as well. But what we're saying is, remember back in the day, yeah, like I said, back in the day, y'all men didn't have these problems. Y'all didn't have these problems. And
What
we as women,
problems?
when it comes to getting our rights and like she said, she might be going about it the wrong way. We understand that. We
It ain't no
understand that.
might
We're
be.
not making, not might, you're right. I 100% agree. She
Like
is going about it the wrong way. I don't, well, I can't speak for anybody else. I'm
Fuck
not
no.
saying this as a reason to justify what she's doing. Let me say that. I'm not using these examples. I'm giving you these examples so you can put yourself in a woman's shoes and possibly understand how a woman thinks. Like we said, and like I said at the beginning of our previous statement, when y'all do things in our head, we like, why would you do that? That don't make sense to us. But just because it don't make sense to me, don't mean it won't make sense to you. So in order for me to help you and get through to you and communicate with you and break this barrier, I have to put myself in your shoes and find out how it makes sense so I can really empathize with what you're feeling. We're trying to tell you how we feel as women. Y'all might not understand because the world telling y'all that y'all have to do this, and that, and like y'all some stand up guys here. Y'all married women, y'all likable to women. Y'all know how to deal with them. But far as us single women in the pool that we're coming up against in our mid 30s, you know what I'm saying? These are the issues where we still addressing.
All right, that phenomena that you're describing, that you're talking about, that's the consequence of women comparing themselves to men and trying to be like men. And I'm going to show you how you're not even realizing that this is universal. Anything that behaves the opposite of what it's supposed to be is going to be considered bad. So, for example, if I say that girl walks like a man, if I say she's shaped like a man, she has a chest like a man, would you say that that's, oh, women tearing down men? Because what's wrong with having a chest like a man? What's wrong with walking like a man? What's wrong with talking like a man? Obviously, you're internalizing that and you're dragging it. The reality is, the reason why it would be weird for a woman to sound like a man is because generally women don't sound like men. Generally, women sound like women. So when a woman sounds like a man, even children can realize that there's something wrong and off there. That's just what it is. If a car has two wheels when it's supposed to have four and it's not a motorcycle, there's something wrong. You get what I'm saying? There's something wrong. So what you're doing is you're making it a thing about patriarchy and about men putting these labels to tear down women, when this is just the natural human nature response to the language. This is just what it is. Most women will view it negatively if you attribute traits of a man to them, and most men will view it negatively if you attribute traits of a woman to them, simply because guess what? He's not a woman and you're not a man. So why would you want to be associated with the traits of something that you are the opposite of? If I'm a bird, I don't want to be called a cat. And if I'm a cat, I don't want to be called a bird because we're not the same thing. If I'm Italian, I don't want to be called Mexican. And if I'm Mexican, I don't want to be called Chinese. That's just what it is. It has nothing to do with, oh, I'm Mexican and I hate Chinese people. No, I'm not Chinese. So don't refer to me as Chinese. That's just what it is.
Well,
And
the
it's like
issue with
everybody got pronouns.
women have this,
just tell
I'm
people
being
what you want to be
interrupted.
called.
I'm being interrupted. Women have this uncanny ability to internalize things and make it about them somehow. Like this is somehow an attack on women. And it's not. It's literally just the way the language works. This is not about y'all. And again, I'm gonna double down on my earlier point. Again, you keep saying we experienced, we're telling you how we feel, what we went through. None of you at all on this panel, and even in the generation before you, have ever lived during a time where any of this patriarchy ever existed. My problem is not the fact that you're speaking on the point. My problem is that you speak about it emotionally as though you've lived it. You speak about it with such passion as though you've ever experienced a man saying to you, you not being able to eat because you didn't fix your man his dinner the right way. Like that's not your lived experience. Like none of you women are limited to your options based off what a man is doing for you. So the fact that you guys keep framing it like that, it literally makes no sense. And I feel like you guys are trying to usurp someone else's pain in order to make your point and in order to give you an advantage. And that's not fair. That's not realistic. The women of the past actually went through that, and they are the only ones that deserve to claim that. Y'all don't. You don't get that. They died and dealt with the pain on your behalf. Hey, hold on, stop. You ever heard the expression, Hove did that, so hopefully you won't have to go through that? Hove did that.
Down
They
the rabbit
did that
hole.
for y'all.
Patriarchy
so that
says a system of society.
show some respect. Hold on, let me
Patriarchy
end my
says-
sentence. Let me end my sentence and I'm done. We need to show more respect for the sacrifices those women that actually lived through it made, instead of women of today trying to take credit for something they did not experience. That would be like me trying to take credit for my ancestors that died in a war. It's ridiculous.
So patriarchy
saying that patriarchy does not exist is like saying racism doesn't exist.
I never said patriarchy doesn't
Ladies
exist,
and
and that
gentlemen,
shows how much y'all
ladies and
don't
gentlemen,
listen. Your lack of listening skills is apparent because I never said patriarchy doesn't
One mic.
exist. But you see what you did?
So
Rather than address the
One mic.
points I made,
Ladies
you're
and
trying to
gentlemen.
gaslight me and make it seem as though I said patriarchy doesn't exist
Not
in order to make my
gaslighting.
argument seem ridiculous.
So
But I'm not slow, so I'm not good with it. I
feminism-
don't let the gaslighting slide. I deal with women like this all the time. Y'all
So
try this. It's the
feminism-
silent language. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. But it doesn't work on me. So let's move on.
Feminism is the belief in social, economic, and political equality of the sexes, whereas patriarchy is a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded.
Who's the
So
vice
back
president?
in the day, women would have been excluded. Back in the day, women should have been excluded because you want to know why? We didn't have access to all the resources that men had access to. We didn't have all the rights that you had access to. We didn't have all the education that you guys have access to. We didn't have a chance to learn how to budget. We
Not
couldn't open
you.
up-
Don't say
and
we, because you was
couldn't
never
open
there.
up banks.
Don't say
I let
we.
you
What
talk.
you wasn't in the
I
gym
let
with
you
them
talk
shoes.
to the timer was
You
up.
not
I let
we.
She
you talk
can't
to the
say
timer
we.
was
She's
up.
talking
I
about
let you talk
women.
to the
Hold on,
timer
hold on,
was
stop,
up.
stop. Y'all
I
let
let
us
you talk
finish.
to
Y'all
the
women
timer
ain't
was up.
included in that we because y'all wasn't there. So stop it.
How dare
You
you?
wasn't there, baby.
How dare you?
I don't know. You lost me on.
So like I said,
Look,
How
How
dare
dare I
you?
tell the
we're in
truth?
the era of pronouns, so just let us
How
know if you
dare
want
I
to be a
tell the
man,
truth?
woman,
so let me
whatever
finish
you
my
want to be. It
thought.
don't really matter at this
Just
point.
let
Okay?
me finish
So,
my
One
thought.
mic,
Damn,
y'all.
how
One
dare
and
mic.
to
I
be
tell the
honest
Hold
truth?
with
on.
That
you,
is my duty, baby. That's my
Just let
duty
me
to
and to
tell
be
the
finish my
truth.
honest
thought.
with you,
How
the
dare you
truth
tell a
is
lie? I'm a
there
grown ass
are
man. Y'all trying to
men.
lie to me like I'm a sucker or something. How dare you? Fuck is you
There
talking to,
are
baby?
men that want to be
Grown.
like women.
Hold
It's a
on.
lot of
Finish my
y'all that want
thought.
to be
You
like
talking to?
women.
Get your
I'm
shit
Hold
gonna be
on.
together, baby.
quiet
I'm
and I'm
grown.
gonna address
Y'all men want
the
Right now.
everything.
Hold on,
conversation.
Y'all
y'all.
want to
Hold on.
take.
Hold on.
Y'all want
Hold
to
on.
take our men
Hey,
and
hey, hey.
everything. Okay.
Hey.
Baby, I'm grown. I don't play them games. Stop
I'm gonna
it.
start muting people, y'all. Let's go.
Get it
One
Okay.
more.
together.
Mic, one mic. Hold on, y'all. We got to spread the mic.
Yes.
I'm
Let me
just
finish my
saying.
thought.
I'm just saying to choose your pronouns. Okay. You don't want to be called a man. You want
Thanks
to
for
be
the
called a
gaslight,
woman. You
no
want to
grown
be called
man.
a trans. Whatever. There's pronouns out there. Okay. And also, men do want to do what women do. This is what the biggest thing is. Men want to do what we do too. Y'all want to dress like us. Y'all want to have men like us. Y'all want to do a whole lot of things like us.
Stop
Okay.
saying
So
y'all. We got to stop generalizing because it's not
we're
all
talking about
men.
the ones
Which
that
one of
apply
us
to.
have a
So it
dress
shouldn't
and which
bother
one
you
of
if it
y'all
don't
got on
apply to
pants?
you.
Right, but
It's to each
Which
his
stop
man on
own.
saying
here has
To
a
each
dress
his
saying
on?
own.
Which
y'all.
woman on here got on pants? Who trying to dress like who?
We talking about the
I bet y'all at
population,
least one
period.
of
We're not
y'all have
talking
on
about you.
pants.
This
What
ain't
we
your
talking
story.
about, baby?
Okay?
at least one of y'all have on pants, and you talking
Caesar
about
wore a
men want to
dress.
dress like
Let
y'all.
me
I got on a
I don't
dress.
see
Caesar
nobody
I
with a
got on a
brassiere.
dress.
Let me remind
I
What
have
you
on a
wearing,
dress.
Rainy? You got some
I
pants
have
on?
on a dress.
Let
You
me
got some
remind
pants
Caesar
on, Rainy?
wore a dress.
But guess what? Dwayne Wade
Caesar
had on
wore
a
a
dress
dress.
I
last
bet
week,
you
and
got
a
some
couple other
pants on,
dudes had on a
mama.
dress last week. Okay?
Cloud, you said we
I bet you got some
should
pants
respect
on, no,
the
Rainy.
ancestors. You said we should respect our ancestors who
Okay.
lived in patriarchy. So I want to ask you a
No,
question.
who sacrificed for y'all for an experience that you didn't experience? I'm saying respect the women who actually struggled through it and
We all
actually
respect the
had
man. And how are you
experiences.
saying
Y'all
we're
aren't
not?
those
We're
what I'm
not
women.
speaking about it.
Cloud,
Well, you
you're
lost
not
me at.
Are you
them.
crazy?
You're not respecting
respecting
it.
them. Like
Y'all
at the
work
end
in
of the
air-conditioned
I'm
offices and
okay.
y'all comparing yourselves to women that was working fields
Oh,
and slaves.
sir.
Stop it.
Please. Please.
Cloud, if you think
Let
You
Kelvin
need
kills
a
get
me
some
sign
of
to
that,
speak for
talking
you?
man.
about
That's
it
crazy.
kills me.
You need a
It kills
sign to
me
speak
that
for you.
you
Grow up.
have on this black power hat and you are sitting here arguing with these
This
queens.
ain't a black power hat,
Hold
woman. Grow
on.
up. This ain't about.
Pause.
This is called the
Are you gonna let
beret.
me finish?
It's
You gonna let me
fashion,
talk?
baby. Get it together.
You gonna let me
This
talk?
ain't about black
You
power.
gonna let me talk or
It's
no?
about
I was
style. Get it
quiet when you
Talking
was
together.
about that
talking.
Huey.
I was quiet. Are you gonna let me respect the mic or no? So all I'm saying is, if you think that we don't still have patriarchy or effects of patriarchy today, you tweaking. There's a war. Why are they talking about? Excuse me. Now let's just talk about basic facts. Y'all are the one that spit the seed out, right? Y'all the one that spit the egg out. Why we gotta be on birth control? Why we got IUDs and shit that attack our womb? There is a war on women's wombs. Hold on, Clout. I don't know, G.
We
I'm
we
trying to be
just kicked this
respectful, G.
off with a woman with 3 different babies by 3 different men, so locking in $50 million. Y'all, you can't say
Nah, she
that
bogus.
after
She
you can't
bogus.
say that after the conversation that originally happened. You cannot say that because this is literally a woman being able to do whatever it is that she wants to do in a patriotic system. So that
Inside
does
of
not make sense.
right?
That doesn't make
Inside of
sense.
a patriarchal system. So if you are inside of a
You're
because
you're
let me
you
say
I
this,
only
G,
said that
there
because
is a
that's what you're
difference, right?
calling it.
It's
But
not
Remember what
patriarchy.
patriarchy is, because you
Hold
keep
on,
saying
it's not patriarchy versus feminism. Let's get that correct, okay?
how
It's
isn't it?
patriarchy versus, if there was a thing of an opposite, it would be matriarchy. Like for instance, chimpanzees work on a matriarchal system where the woman is the
Hyenas
one,
as well.
huh?
Hyenas as well.
So you know what I'm saying. So I'm saying feminism, I'm not getting into that, right? But what I'm saying is that there is a system where if there's a matriarch, right, it's run by what the woman sees and how she sees fit. Patriarchy is how a man sees. So there is a man's world right now, right? So all I'm saying, the reason I brought up
But
patriarchy
women right
is
now have the freedom to do whatever it is that they
in
want to
a
do.
patriarchal
No.
society,
But
right?
it doesn't
It
matter
does
though.
matter. It matters,
Ramy.
So
gang.
all right, so
Ramy, and I'm gonna tell you why
Ramy.
it do matter.
Wait. I'll let y'all go. I've been quiet. So Ramy, do you want to get married?
One day, sure, possibly.
Okay. And I'm assuming that the reason why you're not married or in a relationship right now is because you have not came across a man that has been able to lead you in order for you to be able to communicate with him what your needs, desires, and so on and so forth is, as well as essentially you not being able to understand how to communicate with him.
I don't agree.
So
So
you say you
you're
agree or you
asking,
disagree?
you're
I don't
asking
agree with that.
You don't
I'm
agree.
to
single.
prove Raymond's
Wait. I
point.
can't
To
hear. There's
prove
too many
Raymond's
people talking.
point.
Hold on. You are
To prove
assuming
Raymond's
why I'm
point.
single, right?
So
If
much shade.
Go ahead.
I can't hear.
to prove Ramey's point, you're asking, do we live in a woman's society or a male society? Let's just say hypothetically, I was pregnant right now. If I wanted to go get an abortion, I can't.
Why
Why?
can't you?
Because
There's
By law.
the
there's
law has
36
stated
states.
that a woman cannot get up in Texas and go get a damn abortion.
Start
A
in New
man
York, baby.
has decided what a woman can do with her body. That is not that. To Rainey's point, patriarchy.
So
Listen, if y'all could fly down to Columbia for surgery,
wait,
you
Clout.
Why
could
do I
you
have
could
to
damn
fly to
sure
another
fly
city
to New
for
York
a
to get an
thing?
No,
abortion.
you can't, because they will look
Wait.
up your records and they will accuse you. They do that. That's why they said you cannot go. You can't travel
HIPAA
and go
laws,
get
they
it
can't look up your
done.
records.
Let me
Stop
tell
it.
you
Why
something.
do I
Yeah,
have
Listen,
to go
they
through
they
hoops
they
to
can
do
hide.
things that
They
y'all
will
Hey,
can't
y'all,
do
one
for
mic,
other
one
Listen,
people?
mic.
my
Hey,
mom have a baby right
hold on,
now.
hold
That's
on.
a natural
Look,
herb
you
that she
just
can
so
Hold on,
use.
y'all.
I
unsympathetic.
don't care
How
about that
could you
law.
have empathy? Like, that's crazy.
Hey, we got to talk one at a time because the audience can't hear us. So if somebody else is talking, just be mindful other people are waiting. So just kind of get to it. 120 seconds. You want to get in there, Kelly?
Well, just before, I don't know. I want to go back to Cloud when he mentioned birth control and things of that nature. I mean, just like women can take birth control, men can put on condoms, men can get vasectomies, whatever. So both people are accountable for creating a child with one woman, two women, three women, whatever the case may be. I think at the end of the day, when you're dealing with these wealthy men, like you all know, you all try to attain so much money so you can have it the way you want it. You can pick the woman you want. You can go buy the house and the car and all these things that you want, right? At the end of the day, women know what they have and they use it to get what they want. At the end of the day, they want financial security most of the time. Yeah, you may be able to secure that man, you may not be able to secure him, but if you know what you have and you're using it, that's just the way of the world right now. We live in modern times. It's just what it is. I don't know why this is like we went off into patriarchy and all these other things. We're talking about Joie Chavis and Trevon Diggs. He got 3 baby mamas, she got 3 baby daddies. In that world, in Hollywood, that's what they do. Period. Next.
Ray brought this bullshit up with this patriarchy bullshit.
And it's okay. She's speaking her mind, and that's fine. Everybody has an opinion on this platform.
Patriarchy had nothing to do with this goddamn bullshit about this girl getting pregnant by this a football player. Nothing to do with it. But she brought it up. I don't know why. You know, the patriarchy system is not working right now, because if that was the case, y'all women wouldn't be talking crazy and cutting us men off right now. But y'all finding some way to do it. Patriarchy is supposed to be working for us. It's doing a failed job. Fuck you, patriarchy. You ain't shit.
Oh, shit. I manifested this team up on him tonight.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me get to your super chats right quick. Dale Matthews, member of 27 months. Salute to you for that. Bears Politics Sports, $5 says you ladies were going good into the patriarchy discussion. The patriarchy made her do it. Interesting part of the discussion. In any case, T.O. $5 says saying men are leaders is patriarchal. Did I say that correctly? And isn't that what y'all women want, or y'all don't want that no more? Marriage, Politics, and Sports $20 says men in the past, with all the love songs they sung, only took advantage of all the women they married because they wanted to indenture servants. None of the grandfathers love your G-mother sad. KP, a big shout out to the live. Hold the line, fellas. You either get down or lay down. Listen to the hyenas. KP again, $5 says without patriarchy, these very women would not, some women would not have the abilities to behave the way that they do. Michael, that one Mike Newell, $2 says, hearing this make black women look crazy. KP $2 says that, what are your results? KP again says Chanel, hot way too much, Miss Sophia and her. KP $2 says when a man shows emotion, women weaponize it. KP again says Rami talked too much with her hands. That's violent. Michael, that one Mike Newell, $2 says it was all about the money for her. Pause. Just Blaze 199 says shout out to the panel. Clout talking facts. And lastly, Michael, that one Mike Newell, $5 says men civilized the world, gave women freedom, voting rights, protection, every opportunity women got is because of men. I want to thank everybody that's contributed to the platform, to like, but also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and keep this on. Let's talk about this one. Let me see which one I want to do. I'll do this one. Once you have a man, you're going to always have that man. I saw you had reposted this too, Di.
That's a gaslighting title.
Had a man. You always gonna have that man. to me, that's just my opinion. Unless this person has like moved on, had a family, got married, in the back of your mind, you gotta know what you always did, right? I just feel like, you know, she knows that he is gonna love her or have this tie to her for a while. Because if they were together for years, that's his home at that point. So I'm just saying, because even if he goes, there's a reason he's coming back to her.
Well,
right?
This is
or is that toxic?
All of this is toxic. Even what I said is toxic. But my thing is this: as long as your feelings are removed, you can do what you want.
That's true.
Because the girl did the same and the guy did the same to her. So yeah. I mean, they've been sharing from the get-go. Damn. So it's really up to you what you want to do. You just can't be in your feelings. Do I think you're in the wrong? No.
Yeah, just take your emotions out of it. That's a good.
You're killing me. Well, no, very toxic.
No,
I've been
that's
giving
good.
very, very toxic.
That's good, because if she just looks at it as, oh, I'm gonna have fun.
Now you can't be mad if you start getting your phone blown up by the other girl, but then the girl can't be mad at the same point because she did that to her first.
Right? True. That's true. But the whole thing is messy. Though. Yeah. The whole thing is bad. So please don't think we're bad people, everybody.
Yeah.
We're just helping her with her situation.
But she's not all the way wrong because they wronged her first.
Yeah.
Okay, to my point, I didn't watch the video. I saw a caption on the video. I was agreeing with the caption. I'm just going to put that out there.
Okay, I thought you was going first. Is this true, ladies? Once you have a man, you're going to always have that man?
I plead the fifth. I think Chloe said it. She said, when your feelings are removed, patriarchy. No, I'm just playing. But she said, as long as your feelings are removed, you will be A-okay, right? And that's a reason for that. But I don't want to speak on because, you know, they say men always circle the block, whatever. But, you know, I think that is up to the woman. Like, if she want to accept that, whatever, like, that's just too much. But when Chloe said, as long as your feelings are removed, you gonna be straight, because I feel like that then puts you in an equal playing field with men to be emotionally unattached.
Where we get that from, Raimi? Where we get that from? I said, where we get that from? Who we learn how to be not emotional? We look at them, we say, all they do is not care. They always tell us we too emotional. We just got to do what they do. But nah, two wrongs don't make a right.
I mean, two wrongs don't make a right. But if you don't want to get your feelings hurt, then maybe you should tuck them, because we obviously see that when we speak on our feelings, you know, sometimes men don't take them into account. It's almost like y'all love us for being that emotional home, and we got to be so silent and we got to be so sweet so that we can love on you and what you need, and we can just fold your towels and make sure, honey, did you eat? But as soon as I get loud and I use the voice that God gave me, y'all get offended. Oh, yeah.
Like Steve Harvey said, act like a woman, think like a man.
So here we are.
I feel like Haley feel like that though, because
once again, patriarchy has failed us because these women allowed to talk the way they talking now. Yeah, that bullshit ain't around no more like it used to be. There was a time when the shit was strong. Not strong no more like the force. Because
Hank, are you saying we should have you on a platform?
Y'all promote prostitutes. That's what y'all promote. Prostitute. These heifers out here opening their legs, getting that dick for the mighty dollar. Shout out to these hoes. Let these hoes live.
But y'all men are hoes too. It's a lot of whole males out there. Again, don't let me go there with the communities now. Very promiscuous men. You men are very promiscuous.
I feel where Haley coming from.
Again, this is another example.
If you do your job right as a woman,
be slut.
Chanel's promoting homosexualism.
If you
what do you mean promoting? Nothing's wrong with it. Nothing's wrong with it. Why are you judging?
They wouldn't be promoting this gay lifestyle.
Are you judging?
Not patriotic. No, hell no. Fuck these bulldaggers. Fuck these homosexuals. They wouldn't be promoting that, but y'all allowed to do that. Y'all allowed to do that. Why? Because patriarchy allowed it to happen for you ladies. Y'all got choice. 1 minute you could be a heterosexual woman. Next minute you could be a goddamn bulldagger. God damn.
Well, next minute y'all gonna be a trans talking about and a dress like this. Okay.
I think Haley was
Carry
speaking
on.
from a point of like her worth, because I feel like when I dated the guys I was dating, they would say things about me they didn't like, but they always coming back. They always be like, "Oh well, you was right, and I should have listened." And so I get where Haley coming from that point. But I don't. I think Haley needs to realize in this generation, a lot of women don't bring the value that she would probably bring to a relationship. So I don't think a lot of guys gonna agree with her.
Is that patriarchy?
No. I tried to give y'all the definitions of patriarchy, and y'all just want to take it and say what y'all want to say.
All right, I
I'm
want to
just
answer.
saying
It's just being team
it
too
could
much
be a
now.
But I
trickle.
do feel
It
like y'all
could be a
gave us
trickle
those
down. So I'm
examples.
just trying to make sure that it ain't a trickle down of it.
So
Y'all gave us that example though. Y'all taught us how not to turn off our emotions and be hard body. We say, shoot, y'all get if that's how y'all avoid getting hurt and dealing with love, why we can't do it too?
That's
Well,
bullshit.
nobody said that y'all
Honey,
couldn't know.
Mm,
I don't think that is necessarily a issue for people to do that. Self preservation is a natural instinct.
It looks
So
different when women do it though.
it looks
And that's
different
what y'all
because
complain about. Them the women
Okay.
y'all complain about.
I mean, of course, because if men naturally and instinctively act one way and women instinctively and naturally act another way, and we are looking for the opposite of us essentially, because a man doesn't want to be with a woman that acts like a man, and a woman doesn't want to be with a man that acts like a woman. So if we are instinctively going about the natural way of life, then of course. So yeah.
The issue is y'all just think, and this is why I try to tell the men that I date, because the world told y'all, because of the position we were in, y'all just think that these thoughts are specifically for men, and you keep saying thinking like a man. No, it's thinking with no emotion. It's thinking without a care in the
Well,
world.
so
When you think without a care, and you're thinking without emotion, you tend to not care about, like she said, the who you have sex with. You don't care how your man feel when you walk out the house in the outfit you wearing. You turned your emotions off. So it looks similar to a man who is not emotionally in tune, emotionally intelligent. He's a hoe. He don't know what he wants. He's going after women and women. He don't even know what he want to be in life because he's not emotionally in tune. And the problem is society done taught y'all that, oh, only men do this when he's not healed. When in reality, now y'all starting to see a whole bunch of unhealed women, and y'all can see it at its finest and at its rawest, because now we don't have men beating our ass like back in the day to keep us in our place. Now y'all can see it. And now since y'all can't beat us to the way y'all want us, now y'all have to actually communicate with us, understand how we feel, and possibly minimize that. But if y'all, that's all I can say. I don't want to keep going, but that's the
All
truth.
right,
What are you talking?
I got to answer this question, and I got
Wait, Cloud, wait, man,
go
wait.
ahead, man.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
because Fizz, like
Go
you,
ahead,
if
baby.
you didn't understand that, I don't even know no other way to put it to
No,
you, because
no, listen. So again, the obvious here is
What are
that
you talking about?
the obvious.
y'all don't want to hear it though. A lot
Wait,
of women,
Dad,
and a lot of women not
listen.
gonna
Let me
admit it
talk, yo. Let
because
me
it's
talk.
dead.
Let
But
me
yeah, I'm
That
talk.
sorry.
man cooked.
Let me
Man,
talk.
he got cooked.
All right. So look. So if we're acknowledging that naturally in society, you don't want a man that acts like a woman, right? That's we know that. If that wasn't the case, then you guys 9 out of 10 to be in a relationship, if not married.
Perfect.
So um the I damn near lost my damn thought. All right, so
Oh,
damn, go
sorry.
ahead, Cloud. I lost my train of thought, man. God damn.
All right.
That's bullshit.
To answer the question, I'm gonna answer it twofold, which is currently in the state I'm at right now, I would say 100% that nah, you're not always gonna have me. Like, my cutoff game is pretty good, and if I feel like you're doing something that I'm not appreciating at the point I'm at in life now, you're getting cut off, and that's the end of it. You won't have access to me ever again for the rest of your life. Now, on the second fold, in my toxic days now, I loved when women thought exactly like how those two women were talking. And the reason why I love that so much, right, is because I was able to play right into their ego to get exactly what I wanted. because I knew that if I just gave a ex-girl the right amount of attention, in her mind, especially if I had a girl, I know that in her mind, she's gonna be like, oh, I still got him. And she was gonna feel herself. And I knew that was gonna lead me exactly to where I wanted, which is to the drawers. On top of that, I also used to especially love when women said that they didn't have no emotions, because those are the women who are actually the most emotional, because they don't realize that their quote unquote non-emotional demeanor is an emotional reaction to something. So they like to pretend that they're not emotional. And those are the women you get lots of easy sex from, because they think that they're somehow getting revenge on somebody or hurting somebody else besides themselves by their actions. So what happens is they lower all the barriers and make it extremely easy for you, and they feel like, oh well, I'm doing something. And it's like, you're not really. What you're doing is you're allowing me to smash you while I have a girl, because you feel like you're in this non-emotional bad bitch stage where you're not emotionally involved somehow. But really what's really gonna happen is I'm gonna get what I want from both of y'all. And eventually 2-3 months down the line, when I keep knocking your socks off, you are going to get emotional and you are going to get in your feelings. And I'm going to be able to manipulate you to exactly where I want to manipulate you to, if I'm in a toxic frame of mind. However, I'm not suggesting that that's what someone should do. However, I'm saying that when I was younger and I didn't have a certain level of emotional intelligence when I was younger. So the way I was looking at it is like, I'm going to get what I want. And there's a lot of men that's how they look at it. So I'm gonna just give it as a warning to women. Y'all might think that mindset is empowering you and making you feel good, but you're really just playing right into our hands.
Yeah, I don't think we agree that that's a right mind frame to have, or a right, mind frame to have. But a lot of those women, we just told you why we do it, or not we, because I don't do that shit. But why they do it is because they turn their feelings off. Some women don't care, like they really don't care. Like the girl with the 3 baby daddies. Some women don't care. So that's the
I
when
don't
men
care.
when you in the mind frame that you was just in, that's how you come across the lady we was just talking about. Them type of women, they attract those type of men, and that's the reason why, like we said, women do what they do. Y'all always want to say men lead, men set the tone until the relationship go wrong. Then y'all say blame the women. What happened to men set the tone? If men set the tone for how society is today, why can't y'all accept the facts and the roles that y'all may have in play into how women acting if y'all set the tone?
Because that's not true. Men set the tone for their woman. Women set the tone for society. Men don't set the tone. Men set the tone for their woman and their family.
Hold on, y'all.
But they only set the
women
tone
set
for
the
those
tone
who
for
submit to
society,
them.
why is NBA bigger than WNBA? Why is all the men organizations are
We
significantly
already talked
bigger
about that.
and
Because
making
both
more
men
money
and
than?
women would rather watch the NBA. Because women would rather watch the NBA than the WNBA. That's
But
why.
most men
let Kelly get in there, y'all.
organizations.
Yeah, let Kelly get in there.
So the question was, once you have a man, you'll always have them. That was the statement, right? That Hallie made.
Yeah.
So I feel like, back to what Clout said, he said in his toxic days, that basically is true in his toxic days. So I think the statement stands. It's true. So you have a man that you may have had in the past to some capacity. Like, you'll always have them if they're available. And just like you just wanted sex for them, that's probably all they wanted too at the time. Like, when the relationship was over, it was like, okay, well, let me see if I can get them to come over. Let me see if I can get them to take me out or whatever. So yes, I think women still have men to a certain capacity. If the feelings are mutual, you will have a piece of that person that you had before, I believe. Once you establish something with somebody, you have that soul tie. That's hard to break. Do you all believe in soul ties? Y'all quiet now, huh? Don't nobody want to say nothing.
Yeah,
I
no,
believe in the girl, because you
soul
just
ties
said
are definitely real.
Oh, you think it's BS?
No, that shit
Garbage.
definitely real.
Utter garbage.
Yeah, so basically,
New age bullshit.
right. What? What'd you say, Fizz?
No, I said it's definitely real. And
No, I think you talk about Clout. Clout said that's.
Yeah, that was Clout that said that.
Said new age, BS.
Yeah, Clout know that shit real. That's why he got the smirk.
BS, if it was BS, she wouldn't have been able to reach out to you and access you.
Hey, look, Clout got that mischievous ass smirk, man. He know that shit real. He got a couple
We
soul
can't
ties
hear
out
you.
there.
You on mute,
It
Cloud.
ain't
You
got
on
nothing to
mute.
do with soul ties. It got to do with people being horny and wanting something they got easy access to that they done had before. Familiarity ain't nothing to do with soul ties. It's just about sex. That's it. Y'all dragging it, making it extra. People just like something that's familiar and that don't take too much effort to get. So if I done smashed you 1,000 times before, I know how you like it, you know how I like it, and I can get it again, I'm gonna get it again. It ain't no
And
soul
she got
ties,
you
it's
one
horniness.
extra time. She got you one extra
She
time
ain't getting
after
me
you
one
went
extra time. I wanted a nut. She didn't
right.
get me.
She
I wanted it.
got you
She didn't
one
get
extra
nothing.
time when it was over. You gave
If that's
in.
how you want to look at it, cool.
She won.
More for me.
She got you.
Okay.
She always
I like
got
losing that game. I like losing that game.
All right. Well, shout out to the what is it, Chloe and Hallie? Shout out to them.
All right, let's get Tasha and Hink in there.
I don't know. I'm kind of with Cloud on this one. A fuck is a fuck. It to me, it's not a matter of soul ties. I don't even think it's a matter of having somebody forever. I mean, if I know what you like and you know what I like, I'm gonna hit you up. If we available, we're gonna do what we do.
I'm gonna prove soul ties that don't exist. You know, I know soul ties don't exist because soul ties only happen when the sex is good. You don't never have no soul ties with nobody with trash sex, right?
But
exactly.
exactly. You're
Exactly.
admitting to
No,
the
the
fact
only
that
time
it's real,
people feel
though.
like they have a quote unquote soul tie with someone is when the sex is amazing. If the
Well-
sex is trash, you forget about them right away, right? You don't feel a soul tie to them, right?
Well, so soul ties essentially are created with someone that you have a very intimate relationship with, and it has been over the course of some years, some time. So there's a lot of investment that has went into this relationship as to where now you have created this soul tie with this person.
That sounds like love to me.
I think everybody experiences
I
different.
mean, well, yeah,
It
of
depends
course,
on how
that is
spiritually in
love.
tune you are. Cause I feel for me, my soul ties it be very simple. You know, I like at this stage in my life, I am very careful who I date, who I hug on, who I touch. It's just and it's just who like how he said it's only when it stays good. That is not true. That is not true. I kind of said I remember when I was younger, I had horrible sex, but it's like I started feeling his like it was horrible. It was just horrible. And you would think if you lack in one area, you would make it's like 3 different areas of sex you can make up in. And it's like it was just completely horrible. But I felt like I could feel his insecurity at times. Like it was bad. Like I can't even do this. It was just like, and even after I left him, I could still kind of feel it. Like, and when we be in the same environments, even after a few months down the line, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just there. And me and him didn't have sex multiple times. It was once. So I do believe in soul ties, but I feel like I don't like speaking on the subject in a matter of this or that as fact because it depends on how spiritually in tune you are. My experience gonna be different than yours because I see different. My eyes are different than yours, you know.
Well, look, I'm going back to the video on what these young girls is talking about, and so the fact that they said they can go, I mean, they acting like men. Maybe that's part of that patriarchy to make them feel like they could be men or something. Look, ladies, y'all could act like men if you want to, but y'all not built for that shit. Y'all are not mentally built for that shit. Y'all are not emotionally built for that shit, and you're physically not built for that shit. So stop trying to be something that you're not, ladies. That's not what y'all want. Y'all don't want them problems. Because soon as y'all try to think y'all going to have them problems, your feelings and your emotions get involved and get tied into it, and then you're going to get your heart broken. You're going to be scorned like a motherfucker. And then we're going to see on these YouTube streets, you're going to be the next Princella. You're going to be the next goddamn Cynthia G. Trashing black men and talking about how we ain't shit. Why? Because some man did you bad. You should have tried it. It's not your lane. Stay out of it.
I found the meaning of soul ties if you all want me to read it to you. It says soul ties are believed to be spiritual and emotional connections that develop between individuals, particularly within relationships and intimacy. These ties can vary in their nature, being either healthy or unhealthy, depending on the quality of the relationship. Now, I do believe in moving on and never looking back. So I think it's all about the accessibility. So yeah, if you're making yourself accessible to somebody from the past, yes, they're gonna always have you. But if you cut ties, which you can do, I think you'll be able to move forward and thrive in the next relationship.
I agree with that.
So do you have to have sex with the woman in order to create a soul tie? Do you have to have sex with a person?
Well, that's what it's saying. It's saying depending on the quality of the relationship.
Yeah,
It said emotional and intimate.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that you would have to have sex with that person. If you just connect with them on a very deep, emotional, vulnerable position, intimacy.
That's called an emotional attachment. It doesn't.
That's why it's a soul tie, bro. Like
no.
It's just a different term.
It's just
you're
a
right.
different. It's just a
The
different way of.
scientific term is
It's just
somebody could be
That's the
emotionally attached to a
scientific
piece
term.
of clothing. You could be emotionally attached to a car. That's not a soul tie.
So
y'all always try to make something extra mystical and extra magical. It's not all of that.
So
It's
with
literally
that being
just
said,
emotional attachment.
with that being said, do y'all
Not
heifers,
esoteric.
do y'all women have soul ties to y'all goddamn work husbands? Do you?
I don't have a work husband, so no.
Ray, do you have a work husband that you have a soul tie to?
I sure don't. But I have a very kind gentleman that
I work from home.
Takes care of.
What does it got to do with you not having work
I work with Black women in solidarity.
you know.
All women. Black
So you
women
like
in
women?
solidarity. All women. No, I don't like women. I say I work with all women. No, no work husband. No work husband. Don't look at me like that.
Sounds kind of gay.
I do like women. Absolutely. I love
I
women.
used
And
to
no,
have
I
a
do
work
not have a
husband.
work husband.
So do you got a work wife?
No,
That you got
I ain't got one of
soul
those. Be absolutely gay. Proud to be.
Right
No.
I used to have a work husband, and I sold ties with Starbucks downstairs. He bought me Starbucks every day.
See what I'm talking about?
I look forward to that every day.
And I don't see nothing wrong. Let me just say, I don't see nothing wrong with dating women. I used to date women, I just don't know more. But yeah, I'm still supportive.
It was the caffeine, though. That's what it was.
Do you all have any work wives, men?
Nah.
I work from home. I got my own thing going. I don't work for the man.
I don't believe
Hell
people.
no.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hold on. Let me get MJ. MJ, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Want to add to the convo?
Oh, yeah. I don't have no work husband. Hi, ladies. Hi, gentlemen.
Hey.
Yeah, no work husband over here. That would be quite dangerous for me since I'm in a high male career field. So, yeah.
All right. You want to add anything else to the topic before I move on?
I only caught a little bit of it. I'll just say I'm in agreement with the whole like don't circle back from a past relationship. One of the things my brother's always told me is that he's only coming around to see if you're still stupid or you're still stuck on him. You know, he doesn't miss you. He doesn't miss the relationship. And quite frankly, if he has a roster of 5, he would like to keep a roster of 5 before he can find another female. So it would just be best if it's the past, leave it in the past and, move forward. I know some ladies believe that they can do it because whatever they're feeling at that time and at that point. But most of the time, you being a beautiful, emotional creature, you're going to catch some type of feelings, or even if you don't catch feelings in the way like you want him back, just even with like time and energy, you're going to want that, right? And then after a while, you're not going to want to have that in your mind that you're sharing that with other women, right? Because if that was not a problem, then women would not have a big issue with poly relationships to begin with. So we know that most women are not about that. So I would just say, just leave it in the past and, you save your heart, save your mind, and save the trouble.
Keep it moving, like Joie Chavis.
All right. Maybe we'll introduce this last one real quick. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Here we go.
Believe men and women have a false sense of abundance of dating options.
Yes.
What? That was such a quick answer.
I think social media has made people feel like everybody wants to date me. Do you see how many likes I got on my picture? Do you see how many people are in my DMs? But interest doesn't necessarily mean value. Just because someone is interested in you doesn't mean they necessarily value you, or they actually want to date you. They might just want to smash you. So if we're honest about what it is, most people are getting a lot of attention, but that doesn't mean that they're getting a lot of respect. And you've really got to be able to discern the difference. And until you do that, you'll have a super inflated sense of how many people want you and desire you. And the truth is, there aren't that many people that truly value you. They think they do.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Do you believe people have a false sense of options because of social media?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That goddamn patriarchy strikes again.
Not too much on my girl. Not too much on my girl.
Nah, but I really do think that people get on social media, and from what she was saying, definitely we get on, like she said, look how many likes we got, look how many, it just gives you, I mean, it probably sets off something that, what is it called? Not serotonin, but what's the chemical in the brain that, you know, satisfaction.
Serotonin.
What is it?
Serotonin.
I thought it was a dopamine.
Dopamine is for me and serotonin is for girls.
Okay.
Yeah. Dopamine is for me and serotonin for women.
And I thought it was serotonin, but I didn't want to say the wrong word. So, but you feel me? Like, I think it sets off that chemical in the brain that says, oh, this feels good. But, you know, I think that's why, like, I take so many social media breaks, like on a daily, I might leave my DM unread, even if it's my friends hitting me up, because I just don't want to get on there and be like, I'm grounding myself in the real world. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on with me, and my choices, or, you know, so when it comes to dating, I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like men, especially, y'all get on there and y'all see exactly what y'all look for every day. Big butts, boobs, this, that. It's almost like, and not to be funny, but at the eye is a gateway. So you're programming yourself to these things. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like when your woman or this woman doesn't match up, you throwing that out the window. So yeah, I do think that social media affects the way people see things and gives them a altered sense of options, or, because don't get me wrong, I think anybody can have whatever they want in their lives, but I do think that it gives a false sense of self and the world.
I like how you made it about men and women when it was just about women. That's not the case, ma'am. She's talking about women.
Girls.
Why do you always want to do that? Why you want to include us into y'all bullshit? You want to include us into y'all bullshit because y'all fall for the okie-doke, right? The false sense of reality. Men don't fall for that false sense of reality. We already know what it is. We get opportunity. We know what it is. We know it's just a piece of ass. We know ain't nothing going to matriculate after this bullshit. We just trying to get them 20 goddamn minutes and get the hell on. Y'all think everything, oh, he's gonna fall in love. He gonna marry me. He gonna bribe me up. He gonna wipe me up. He gonna take me in, and we gonna do these things. And all the time, he just trying to get 20 goddamn minutes out of your stinky ass and get you the hell on.
Yeah, realistically, we see women that they benefit to this more. They're exposed to it more. We even saw Steph Curry's wife feel some type of way because she wasn't getting attention on social media. Most dudes that have social media, unless they look like something, they got something going, they in a fancy car or whatever, they posting lame ass pictures, they not getting no likes. But a female, all she got to do is prop her titties up or take a picture, you know, with her looking back, and that motherfucker gonna get 100 likes. So the what women are experiencing during this time period in social media is absolutely different from what men are. So I do believe that it does give both sides a false sense of the options. But just like Hink said, in most cases with the guys, we see women flaunting themselves as if they're prostitutes. So then that's all that men are going to treat them like. They're going to treat them like prostitutes. And you got some men that's going to try and wife them, and you got some men that's not. They just going to be in there They gonna hit it and quit it. But we have women that is they're looking for that validation, and then may fall victim to now becoming a single mother because they're in the moment, or they think that this attention is benefiting them, or even going back to the original conversation of where they're cutting off their emotions, and it's all fuck niggas, they all dogs, woo woo woo. So now you just running through bodies. So we see it on both cases, but I think that it affects women more.
I was gonna say the same thing, and I kind of agree on this, only because I never say that a woman can, and this is what I used to tell guys I dated. You know, guys that I know I'm probably not gonna be with him forever, but I usually date for a long period of time when I am dating. And I tell them when I'm with them, I can never tell you how to be a man, but I tend to date unhealed men. You know, I can never tell you how to be a man, but I can teach you how to heal. And then once you heal, then I can be confident in how you lead as a man, if that make any sense. And I go back to say this because I do feel like when it comes to social media and the attention that a lot of women get, and this is what a lot of my single friends do too, they tend to not want to fight for the relationship. I don't think sometimes they understand like the value they have in the relationship, especially with the men they're dating. A lot of my friends are very smart. They're very empathetic. They're very spiritual. They're in the way that they can heal the dude they talking to. But as soon as something happens that affects their confidence and their ego, it's like they ready to run, because goes back to what we was talking about last week. Some of us don't know, if you didn't have a good father figure or role models, which guy is the one you should fight for? Which guy is
This
the
a
one
good
you should take that, take that chance on? Because some women, they do take that chance, and then like y'all see, they come out with kids and all this other stuff, and nothing still happens because they don't even understand their value. They didn't do what they were supposed to do in a relationship, or they were taken for granted and they just chose the wrong guy. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
guy didn't want that much from him, and he rode the wave as long as he could. So I definitely feel like with women acting that way too, is going to affect our community worse. I I feel like sometimes women be like, how could you say that? You see what men do, but it's just like I said, I'm real big on holding women accountable, because I can't really tell a man how to be a man. But I know if a woman carries herself a certain type of way, if that would affect that man or themselves or their situation negatively or positively. Like y'all said, you wouldn't like Hank said, I wouldn't recommend women to just turn off their emotions. Because I agree, after a certain period of time, if that man helping you out, being your best friend, he help you pay your bills here and there, but y'all just fucking and your emotions off, after a year or two, you depending on him low key to help you with your life. And then when it's time to be like, okay, I want you, it ain't tricking if you got it. He got three other women he doing that for, and now you feel special because he's treating you like how a husband should, if dicking you down. But then now your feelings attaching. I just feel like women, we are built differently than men, and I see my friends go through it. I see um just social media, you can see how the women who think like that, even Ari said it. She was like, when I got with money bag, yo, I had to think different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to change certain things about myself, and I had to stop saying, fuck, all this other stuff. But that's it.
Okay, but just to touch on something that you said, I personally think that women do help in healing men, and the only way that is, I believe that the relationship is truly going to work, especially once you get to marriage, is if the woman understands that and creates a space for the man to be vulnerable enough for the communication, the spice, everything that comes with a healthy relationship. I think that is imperative. In my own personal experience, I have open parts of myself that I wasn't aware of with the aid and assistance of my wife. So I believe that is important, but that can only happen when the woman is open to help in that man healing. I think that is a duty for both parties to do it. But due to the fact that men are raised one way, women are raised another way, once we are together as one, it's necessary for both parties to do their due diligence. And as men mostly being hard and women mostly being soft, there's that part where it comes where we have to understand the balance of the two in order to unite. So I think that that's important.
And with it being a lot of single mothers, that's a lot of single women, they're so busy providing, they're not really focusing on healing, you know? So a
That
lot of us don't know, and it's no excuses, it's no excuse. But once we heal and we heal ourselves, that's when we realize our true power. And that's when we can come in and heal and do what we're supposed to do.
I want to chime in and actually like piggyback on what both of you guys said. Viz, I think what you just said was like so beautifully put, because and simply put, because there is a difference. One's hard body, one is soft, but just like the yin and the yang symbol, there is a little bit of each, you know, in the other. And so I'm saying that to say you're right. It has to be two willing parties to come to the table and do their job. You know, I think sometimes where we clash on things in you know, talking about men and women is the fact that nobody wants to budge sometimes on especially just conversations like this, right? Like I'm not talking about just intimacy, like when with your man and you know, I'm with you know, you with your woman, but like on a bigger scale, everybody wants to like stand their ground and be heard and stuff. But at the end of the day, it is about coming together and you know, being able to like for a man to be vulnerable. So for me, I feel like with a man, because y'all will say, oh, I'm just not in the right environment, da da da. We don't have to go back in the past, but I'm talking about right now, what's necessary. Yes, a woman can be as soft as she wants to be, but there are a lot of wolf in sheep clothing, you know, and so now I got to use my spidey senses to snuff that out to make sure he's even worthy of me coming to the table to do my part. Because what if he is just here for a 20-minute quick fix? You know what I'm saying? What if he is just here for A, B, and C? So I have to be the one that guards that, you know, the best way I can. But I want to piggyback off that what she said. Sometimes, because I'm not gonna hold you, I don't have children, but I had to do a lot of work to transmute and get to a space where I could heal in certain ways that I wouldn't have been able to do with a household full of children or this and that. So it's no excuse. I do agree that, you know, the healing has to happen regardless. You got to do the work. But I think grace can be extended to some, you know, different situations. But if we talking healthy connections, I think what you said, Viz, was like really on point. And it takes two parties to be able to open their hearts and their ears to what the other party needs truly.
Yeah, for sure. At the end of the day, I personally believe, especially with divorces, is just as you said, is one or two parties standing so firm in their ego that they're not willing to go any further, or the damage has been done to where it's like, okay, I just can't I can't bear it anymore. So, but I believe that, and I've never been divorced. I've been in breakups, but I believe that that's what happens when people say that we grew apart. I think that it's the evolution of the two, and we just can't communicate. We can't get on the same ground, on the same level of understanding and understanding what it is that I need now, much rather than what I needed 5 years ago or something.
Absolutely. Can I ask you a question though? Because I didn't know you were married, so that's great to know. So when you said that your wife, there were some things that you didn't even realize or that she helped you work through or something. Would you say in that regard though, because you have let her in, that she would serve also as a mirror for you? Do you believe relationships can be mirrors for other people?
Yeah, I absolutely believe that that your spouse is a reflection of you. Your children are a reflection of you. The people that the top five people that you spend the most time with, they are reflections of you. So absolutely, I do believe that.
I was asking that because you know what, that was, and I'm glad you answered that way, because that's a perspective that I didn't consider. Well, I considered it. Let me not say that, but when I was asking that question, I was saying that to say in terms of, you know, how sometimes men go, oh, like women just be tripping, they be crazy, they be doing this and that. I think a lot of times when men lay with women, they don't also consider, especially if she's somebody who is in tune with her emotions and herself, they don't often realize that I'm going to mirror you or show you things about yourself. And it may not come out in a way that is always pleasant, right? It might be some ways that you're the man and leader. And I think in another conversation, we can touch on what women want, because back then maybe we wanted leaders, but right now we need partnership. We need interdependent, right? Because everybody came here as a whole being of their own selves, and we should be able to be interdependent, not necessarily codependent. But anyways, I'm saying that to say sometimes when women act out, yes, they might have their own set of traumas that are attached to that. But sometimes I think, women being a multiplier and a mirror, if you give me happiness, peace, wholesomeness, whatever you give me a roof over my, whatever it is, I'm going to turn that into a home or a meal or a baby or whatever it is that man gives me, I'm going to multiply those good things. Let's not negate the fact that can happen in negative ways too. Sometimes men bring trauma to the womb. Sometimes men bring things to a woman's sacral area that now she don't even know herself. So when those things are happening, it comes up in a negative way. And I think sometimes we don't consider the negative ways that, we can multiply, the negative things that men bring that we can also multiply. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel I agree.
I'm trying to figure this out. Why are you so hip on us being the same partnership? Men and women are not partners. Now, Natasha, she's in a partnership because she's in a same sex relationship. She's okay with that. And that's what she does. That's Absolutely. A partnership. A man and a woman is not a partnership. We're not equal. We're not the same. So why are you pushing that so hard?
Because we bring equal value.
That Hank, because
we don't.
Hold on,
yes,
we don't. We don't. Nothing's equal about us. Nothing.
We do.
I
bring
equal value.
Let me
So
finish.
cater to my ignorance. What is the difference between a male and female quote unquote partnership or relationship as opposed to a homosexual relationship?
There's a big difference.
Why can it not still be considered a partnership? What's the difference in responsibility? Because my wife works, my wife pays bills, my wife takes care of our home, my wife helps raise our son. What exactly is the difference?
Your wife ain't built like me. Your wife don't have a penis.
She doesn't have to be. She does the same responsibilities in terms of our marriage.
That's the difference. Y'all have menstruals. Men don't have menstrual cycles. I can't get pregnant. You can. Those are different.
You're talking about science-based things. What else is it?
Ma'am, that's a big thing.
It's not.
Science isn't a big thing.
Jesus Christ.
Science is a big thing, but the fact that you have a penis and I have a vagina, okay, again, what is your point?
The roles are still the same.
Exactly.
The roles are not
roles
the same.
in terms of a relationship are the same.
What is the
expectations,
the
expectations of men and women are completely they're not the same in no way, shape, or form.
Relationship versus a man and woman.
I don't care
right,
about
but it's two women. It's two
I just
women.
choose her as an example of saying.
But what is the difference? I'm asking you simply. What is the difference between a partnership and a relationship?
And one is a woman. Other than that,
what's the difference between a partnership and a relationship?
The expectations.
Expectation of what?
Everything.
Enlighten.
The roles that come with it.
Continue, please.
So
you said science is not a big deal, so I can't even have a conversation with you.
So and
that's what you said.
I don't want to go.
The science is not a big deal, so I can't even further have
I'm
a conversation.
asking you, what is the difference between a partnership and a relationship?
The expectations, ma'am. The expectations of a man.
What are the expectations? Because the expectations are defined by the person that you're with, right? So a woman has certain expectations of a man has certain expectations of a woman. In a relationship, whether it's male, woman, there's still going to be expectations. So I'm asking you, what are the difference in expectations between a relationship versus a partnership?
Y'all will take turns going to deal with any situation y'all have to as a woman's, right? I'm always going to answer the door. I'm explaining my scenario, ma'am.
Sure.
Not yours. So I'm always going to answer the door regardless. regardless if it's a child at the door or it's a man at the door. I'm going to address, because I don't know if it's a threat or it's a friend. I don't know if you're a friend or foe. I have to deal with those situations. If something is broken or needs to be fixed, I have to do it. My wife ain't doing shit. She ain't taking the trash out. She ain't cutting the goddamn grass. I have to do it. You and your woman, y'all could take turns, because that's the partnership y'all
Absolutely not. I ain't taking out nobody's trash. I ain't answering nobody's door. I ain't putting gas in my car. I ain't doing none of that
The
shit.
man of your relationship is going to do that then. Shout out to her.
And this is why we as women, and a lot, not we, but a lot of women decide to take on man roles because y'all feel like because y'all can do these things, it makes you better.
It's not
That's the
about being
issue.
better.
And y'all,
So
wait,
that's
I'm not finished. I'm
that's
not
the
finished.
problem.
I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
Hold on, y'all. Let
I
us finish.
wasn't
Let us
finished.
finish,
And
y'all.
every time
Let us
y'all
finish.
speak,
Right,
I
Diane. Go
always
ahead,
let
man.
y'all
You
speak
right.
when I begin to
Go ahead. You
overtalk
right.
you.
You
Every
right.
single time. I do. But the thing is, when it comes down to it, it's a when you say that, y'all don't understand. We take it as disrespect. We feel some type of way. It hurts our feelings. Do y'all? And to y'all like, well, they're just feelings, but we're emotional beings. Don't forget that. So what it means to you is completely different than what it means to me as a woman who thrives on just being successful, being diverse, being able to be there for my man because I know what society has him up against. I don't want to be a burden, but I also want to be taken care of. But I do want to help in whatever ways I can. But I don't want you to make it seem like my role isn't important, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be with your wife and he wouldn't be with his wife. She obviously brings some type of value that's very important. When y'all choose y'all wives, y'all say it all the time. Y'all very specific because y'all know that happiness means a lot to y'all. Having your kids being raised the right way, having a good example of a wife, like you said, having a woman, and a lot of men say this, y'all say this a lot, well, women don't give men that safe space. Women don't allow men to heal. Do you know what we have to do? And that you don't, because it's not your job. But it's a lot of work for us as women to put our emotions to the side, with us being emotional beings, to be able to heal you, to be able to understand you, to not judge you the way that the world has taught us to judge you, when it's time for us to be able to get down to the root cause of your childhood trauma. That takes a lot of work for us as women. So when you say it's not the equal value, well, a lot of men, you have to understand, they didn't have good mothers. They had single mothers, mothers who was always working and not doing enough healing. So we get these single men and we have to do the jobs that they mothers didn't do. And sometimes we was raised by single women too. That takes a lot from us. A woman cannot be with a man who's not completely healed. Because remember, yeah, I understand that in a marriage, yes, it's supposed to look a certain type of way. But whenever we're talking on these subjects, y'all forget that we're talking about the people that's having those disconnects. We're not talking about how it's supposed to be. We're talking about why is the disconnect. And the point of having these conversations is to understand the disconnect so we can change how we've been treating each other, so we can get back to marriage, so we can get back to how it's supposed to be, so we can get back to trusting men the way we're supposed to trust men, so we can let y'all in and submit the way we need to submit. We're just trying to tell y'all what we need and how society has affected us to make us feel like, okay, and I told them this the other week, if a man give me what I need to heal, I would give him the world. I
So
would give him the world, because that y'all said it. Men set the tone. And I would
that
love a man like that, but a lot of men don't come healed. And if they
Hold
not
on, Ed.
healed,
Hold
it's
on,
our
Ed.
job to help them heal so they can lead correctly.
So do you see the difference that was allowed to happen? You cut us off, and you was allowed to finish your whole statement without being interrupted. As a man, we accept that. We accept that there's double standards in the world. We accept that. But see, you don't want to accept that, though. You want to fight against it because the way you feel. No, ma'am, I didn't cut you off. You are talking about, how we feel. Ma'am, 90% of y'all we cannot be vulnerable with. 90% of women, we can't tell us how we really feel. We can't tell you what we're really going through at work, because we know y'all won't accept that. We know y'all will judge us, or y'all will look down upon us. Y'all can't accept a man what if your man cried every day? You're going to look at you, what's wrong with you? Acting like a little bitch. You're going to start disrespecting that man. You ain't going to have no respect for that man. Talk about, you could be vulnerable. Bullshit. That first time he's vulnerable, your ass gonna tell everybody in the neighborhood what's going on with that man. Oh, little Johnny got touched. Little Johnny
I'm
has some
asking why he crying like a girl.
And that's not right. And that's not right. It's not
Thank
right.
you. Thank you,
It's not
Chanel,
right.
for proving my goddamn point what I just said there and said. No, Dad, you said it's not right, but what Chanel just said there said, why are you crying like a little girl? That's what most women are talking. That's the most women's mentality. Not yours, what you're talking about, Matt. Those are 10% of the women. The other 90% are taking the same role as Chanel. Why are you crying like a little girl? Exactly. Thank you, ma'am.
So another thing too, Sha, that you said early on, that there's nothing wrong with being a woman. A man, when men say that you handle that when men say that you acting like a girl, or when men compare, it was something that you had said earlier, but you guys
when
make
men
it
want to be praised for certain things,
well, no.
and they act like this makes them more valuable, women tend to
I
want to
just
do
had
it
it. I
too.
just had it. So my point is that there's nothing wrong with being a woman, and there's nothing wrong with being a man. Men and women play two different roles in society. Men are supposed to protect, they take out the trash, they fix shit around the house, handyman, right? Women are supposed to nurture, they typically cook, they nurture the home, they help with they tend with the children, so on and so forth. Both people, both sides have to play a role. So there's nothing wrong with being a woman that plays your role of taking care of your family the way that you're supposed to as a role player. There's nothing wrong with a man taking care of his responsibilities as a role player. So the disconnect here is that when women hear that stuff, y'all hear it as if we're saying that it's a bad thing. It's nothing bad about it. That's just simply what the roles are, and those are the expectations of society. So it's when y'all do that, it makes it seem that you guys want to be equal, but just how he explained and just how I pointed out these roles that we have played in society, we're not equal. We both have our own roles to play in society, and that's simply what it is.
My issue wasn't equal. My issue was valuable. We're equally valuable. My value is just as important as your value in order for these
Nobody said
kids,
that it's not, though.
in
Nobody said
order
that
for
it's
these
not, though.
kids to be raised correctly, in order for this household to maintain what it's doing, in order for you to maintain a healthy mind frame, to continue to go to work, come home, and do everything that you do for us, my role is equally valuable. And that's why I said, I didn't say we want your role, but when you start to tell us that your role is more valuable, and then you start listing off the things that makes your role more valuable, now women say, well, we got the resources to do that too. We want to do it too. We want to be as valuable as you are.
Is a
So
leader's
sometimes,
role not
so for
valuable?
instance, I'm
Is a
I
not
think
gonna.
leader's
it's
role?
ridiculous to say that gender roles don't exist, but then say that patriarchy doesn't exist. Like, I mean, we're contradicting ourselves here.
Because
Nobody
I feel
said
like
patriarchy don't
patriarchy
exist.
is the one
Nobody
telling
said that
y'all
it didn't
that
Y'all
exist.
there's
definitely
not
were
equal
saying that
value.
Nobody
patriarchy does
said
not
that.
exist. Y'all
Nobody said
definitely
that it
said
did not
patriarchy does
exist.
not exist.
I think y'all were more so downing the effects of patriarchy. That's what's happening. It's like, oh, that's not a
But
thing
that's the
because
difference.
y'all ain't there no more. That's what y'all.
Natasha's saying we saying it didn't exist. That's a difference in saying it's not the same than it doesn't exist. That's two different
No,
things.
y'all did
So
say
does
that
so
earlier
does it
though.
exist
Y'all
or does
said it
it
don't
not
exist
exist?
anymore. Y'all definitely
You've
said
been in
that.
and
Because
out.
you
You
were
don't even
saying we can't complain about something that we're not currently going through. So does it currently exist or does it not? Because you're identifying gender roles and then saying that patriarchy doesn't exist in our sense that we can't complain about things, but then you're saying we need to respect gender roles here.
And I'm gonna be honest,
So
y'all
Natasha, I wanted to ask.
Natasha, don't you and your wife have gender roles? Because you sit there and said you don't take out the trash, right? So that
I don't
means
take
I'm
out the
assuming
trash,
your
and
wife
I
or
will be
your
the
lady.
first person to say I am a very traditional person in my heterosexual relationship. My wife is masculine presenting. I'm not going to take out the trash. I ain't going to wash my car. I'm not going to tend to my house. There are certain things that I absolutely will not do.
So is that not a
So
gender
your
role?
wife your wife,
It is a
as you
gender
call
role,
her.
but I'm
Okay,
also
so
not
what?
saying that patriarchy doesn't exist.
Nobody
Is
said
that
it
more
didn't, man.
valuable?
Nobody said it didn't exist.
Okay.
The
Well,
issue is y'all say it's
Or
more
saying that I can't
I
valuable.
said
complain
it's
about
not.
it because I didn't
I
experience
said
it.
it's not the same. I said patriarchy's not the same as what y'all try to make it is. It's not
Okay.
the same. Nobody said it didn't
Well,
exist.
shout
And,
out
and,
to you,
and,
Mr.
and
Heath, for your 2.5 seconds of taking out the trash and changing the oil or
Oh
doing whatever
wow,
else it is that you do around the house.
wow,
Since we're
that,
identifying gender roles.
wow. That's messed up.
well,
That's
I was just wanted to
y'all
say
see us
is,
at the check, man. I mean,
can
that's very
anybody
that's
hear
really
dismissive.
what
me?
it is.
That's
I think Ray was saying it earlier. Y'all just see men as checks, and
Can you
it's
can you
sad
hear me?
that that's
I'm
why
glad I don't
we
have
equate
one
men
then.
too.
Oh no, I
No, you
think that.
got one. You just got to
No,
split. That's
I
it.
don't. I don't.
I don't know if anybody can hear me. I just wanted to make sure that if my mic was working.
Yes.
Yes.
We hear you.
Okay,
Oh
great,
yeah,
thank you.
Ray was
So
equating us to a check, and so was
I didn't
Natasha.
equate you.
Men are checks.
no, I don't think a lot of women think men are a check or anything or just a walking penis or wherever not. Um I'm not gonna say there aren't women, but I don't think a lot of women think that. Just to ask to Mr. Wiz, just to express what I was getting for the lady that just left.
Call that man
You
Wiz.
probably you
It's Viz.
probably
It's Viz. It's Viz.
Mr. Viz. So, I don't know that sometimes I don't believe that you're saying when you're talking about the woman role, you're not trying to say that it's not valuable, but it does sometimes come across that way with your language and how you express um the importance of a woman's role or your wife's role. It comes off that way, and that's like the emotional side of it. We all know that your role as men and our role as women is very important, especially to keep society together. But for example, how can I put it? You know how when you're speaking to a man who you might feel is not living up to his best potential as a man, what's the first thing that y'all say when y'all want to criticize him? You say he's acting like a girl. You say he's fighting like a girl. You say he's talking like a lady. Like y'all will reference things as if a man who's not acting in his masculinity, the negative part of him is always women. So sometimes I don't think that men realize that even when you say little things like that and it's amongst each other, amongst men, it is bringing a negative connotation towards women and how they act, what their nature is, and the things that they do. So eventually, when we're having conversations sometimes with men, and then they're referring to the things that is considered our gender-based roles, already having that sense that we heard millions of guys telling other dudes, stop acting like a bitch or blase blah, we will believe that you think it's a devaluing. Because how come when you're speaking to those men who are not acting like men, why is it never like, stop acting like a weak man? Stop acting like a weak boy. Why is it always referencing him as being the opposite of the gender? You see what I'm saying?
MJ,
Y'all is
I'm not.
comparing.
Wait, Doc. I'm MJ. I'm not sure what type of men you're hanging around that that men are calling other grown men saying that they're acting like a little girl.
Well,
I've never, as a full grown adult, I've never told another man, "Oh man, you acting like a girl." Now I might have said that you acting like a bitch, but that can go both ways.
well, most
That's so and Clout spoke on this earlier. As a man is supposed to act like a man. A woman is supposed to act like a woman. There again are certain traits and roles that have to take place. If women expect for men to be leaders, then in the moments where leadership is most important, you can't have certain traits that women instinctively have. there's a saying that you can't, that when you hesitate in war, that you're lost, because in that split second, whatever decision it is that you make could be either successful or detrimental. So,
Well,
but in
I'll
many
say this.
cases, for women, women don't go into battle, into war, because y'all aren't programmed naturally and instinctively in order
Sir.
to handle those situations. So that's where that comes into part.
Okay.
I'm
So
quite sure, MJ, I'm
mm,
quite sure that you would not want to be in a serious and committed relationship with a man that is literally emotional all of the time, that does everything that a woman does. He sits in the house, he doesn't work, he sits on the, he just want to sit on the couch and eat and just
That's
take up
what
the
women want
space.
to do.
I'm,
so
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you want a man that is going to go out and be a man. That's all that I'm saying.
But I'm saying that's
so
what you said
Mr.
though.
So Mr. Wiz, first thing
Viz
is I
with a V.
Mr. Viz, I'm so sorry. I
You
apologize.
good.
I
You good.
apologize, Mr. Viz. So the
Wow.
first thing that I will say is I don't hang out with men who likes to dehumanize another man and call them a different gender, knowing that that will offend him, right? I don't hang out with men like that. But I do have seen men speak to other men that way. I even have seen men speak to other men like that on these platforms. So like the always thing to go us back is like you're acting like a girl. So it does bring like a negative connotation because he is less of a man or less value if he's exhibiting traits that is seen in women. So
Would
we
would you
have to
date
just
would you date a man? Would you date a man that exhibited traits as a woman?
I would not date a man who
Why?
exhibited a lot of traits of what's in a woman
Why?
because well, because I am looking for someone who is masculine. Yeah.
So
So
what is the problem?
but
So-
wait, let me finish, Mr. Viz. See, I
okay,
got it right this
go
time. I
ahead,
got it
go
right
ahead,
this time. Okay.
go ahead, cook. My
So,
bad.
I mean, and I would just say that it's very hurtful for you to say about the whole military thing because you're literally speaking to a military veteran right here, right now, who's on the job right now,
Okay, thank you for your
servicing and
services.
on the clock. So I'm my job is very dangerous, and what I do every day, I'm on guard. I'm fully with weapons, with my gear on, and all the stuff like that. So it's unfortunate that you didn't think that women are doing things like that or are
I,
capable of doing things like that. It's unfortunate, right? But what
I,
I would just want no,
my
don't worry
bad.
about it, Mr.
Go
Viz.
ahead,
Don't
go
worry
ahead.
about
My
that.
bad.
Don't worry about that, Mr. Viz. So I would just say that the only reason what I was saying before is that I think sometimes it's subconsciously done. You might not be trying to say women you're not valued. We value you for the gender role that you fit, taking care of the kids, being emotionally supportive, being just emotionally supportive to your family in general, right? Because women are literally the natural caretakers for the whole family,
Of
not
course.
just her children, not just the husband, literally the mother, your grandparents, your uncles. Is always women that's going out of their way to help other family members in the family because it's not really expected for men to stop doing what he's doing or not only providing or focusing on his immediate family. So when I'm saying to say all this is that it might not be your intent to lower our value or make it seem that you don't value us outside of the framework that you have for us. But when we hear it, we feel that way. The emotional side of us feel that way. That's all I wanted to say.
And it's a little triggering when y'all do talk about y'all value. Like Hank kept saying, he kept saying, "Well, we is it is us. It is." It was like, no, we know you valuable, but if you know how we are as women, you know how you like y'all said, y'all know to give us compliments. We cherish it. We like give y'all compliments too. But y'all know how we are as women. So why even compare our values in the first place? Why can't it be is you're valuable, I'm valuable?
But
Why do it have to be said who's the most valuable? I feel like when you're valuable, you don't even really have to say anything. It's gonna show. And we both should feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And if we both feel that way, why is it not okay to say? If you feel like I'm just as valuable as you are, what's wrong with saying we don't have equal responsibilities? We don't have, it's just different physical responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. It looks different for both of us. But with both of them coming together, that's how it makes work. If one is off, then the whole family off. If you off, we off. If the mama off, I'm off. So that's why I mean equal value, because if I'm off, it wouldn't affect the household. If it ain't equal,
that
if you off, it wouldn't affect the household.
no one said that one side is more valuable
I
than the
said Hank.
other.
I said Hank. He
Hank,
did. He did. He did.
Hank, you
He
said
did.
that. I don't remember Hank saying that one side is more valuable than
Yeah,
the
he
other.
said
The only
our
She's
role
a
is
bad,
bigger.
she's a
Our role
bad
is more
listener.
important. I said no, it's equally
Nobody,
valuable. He
nobody
said no,
said your
Hank
role
Nobody
is
is
more.
said that,
bad.
but that's the thing. That's the thing. The problem is that I understand. I get it because I have went through this same communication gap in my relationship. The thing is that no one said that women are less valuable than men. Nobody said that at no given point in time. But the problem is that you guys heard that much rather than actually listening to what we're saying. You're hearing what you want to hear. So that's where the disconnect is. With no one at all at any point said that women are less valuable than men. We said that
Okay,
we
this is
played
recording.
two different roles, that we're not equal in society due to the responsibilities that is taken on in life. So I, I I understand what you guys are saying, but no one on this panel said that women are less valuable than men. All that we are saying is that we play two different roles with two different responsibilities, so we're not equal. That's it.
Because
So
of
if we're not
patriarchy.
equal, what
Because
are
of patriarchy. Because patriarchy told
It's
you
not
not to
because
show
of,
that as
but wait,
you
wait.
did. You just said
I'm,
because
I,
of the role in society. You just said because society does not see it as equal. It's
Dad,
society.
I'm gonna ask you the same question that I asked MJ. Will you marry a man or be with a man that takes on feminine traits?
Can you describe feminine traits for me?
Whatever feminine traits
No, I want you to
what
describe,
what is
because this is my point.
what is
This
a
is this
woman?
is why I say it's a patriarchy. Listen to what
Jesus
I'm saying.
Christ.
Can
that's a
you
fair
describe
question,
those
guys.
traits?
That's
Let
a
me
fair
finish.
question. I think
Let
you
me
should let
finish
him answer
talking.
that.
And listen, I
You
don't want
can't
you to wait. Let me finish talking, because this is what y'all tend to do when you describe when it depends on whatever point you're trying to make. I want you to just describe feminine traits in a healed woman, not a nagging woman, not a woman that just want to sit on the couch.
uh,
Describe traits of a healed woman, a woman.
Why we?
why
He said a husband. Why would he need to be a woman?
What are the heels traits? You said, what is the traits of a woman? Because when y'all go to the traits of a woman and men, when y'all
No,
describe men,
he
y'all
said
why
said
a
take out the
feminine
trash. Let
man.
me
Would
finish.
you marry a
right
feminine man? That's what he said.
why
Why would
why
it be a woman?
What's
why
feminine to
can't
you?
you just answer the question so
Feminine
Because
that
the
man.
we can
A
example,
feminine
let me,
man.
understand?
That's what he
You.
said.
She's
okay, let
Would
me
asking
you
you
answer
what
marry
your
he
a
question.
feminine
Let me answer
man?
Vid's
That's what he
question
asked
on
you.
why I can't answer. Let me answer Vid's question on why I can't answer. Because when y'all say we bring different value,
Don't,
is
it's
this,
not about
let
what
me
we
answer your
say, Dad.
question.
Just
Let me.
no, because you're going off of the topic,
No,
off of the
I'm not.
question.
If
it's
you
a,
how
no
do you
no
know?
no listen
You
listen
just hear
Hold
the
on, hold on,
beginning
Biz.
of
Let her
what I'm
finish, Biz. Let
saying,
her
and you're
finish, Biz. Let her
assuming I'm
finish.
going off topic. You never let me finish my sentence.
Let her finish,
How
Biz.
do you know I'm going off topic if you never let me finish my statement?
Okay, so what are the traits? What are feminine traits to you?
That's what I asked you.
I'm
Because
asking.
let
You
me
can't
explain
ask
why.
me a
When y'all
question from a.
describe
I asked
masculine
you the
traits,
question. I asked you
when
the
y'all
question
describe
so I can
masculine traits,
understand.
when y'all describe masculine traits, y'all don't say we provide. Yeah, like when y'all was just speaking, and I'm gonna make sure I go back and rewatch the video and make sure I'm not tweaking either. But when y'all describe certain traits
he
that
asked
makes yours,
if you would date a feminine man, a man with feminine traits, and I thought it was a fair question that you asked him. What does that mean? What are feminine traits?
Why do I have
But
to?
let me
Why do
explain to you
I
why
have?
I'm saying this. You never let me finish my statement. The
You,
reason why I'm saying this is because when y'all describe masculine traits, y'all describing something that women can do as well. You're not saying, you didn't say security. You know what I'm saying? You didn't say that. You didn't say this or that. To me, you're describing what society says is feminine and masculine.
I'm
It was let
asking
me
you,
finish. At
Dad.
some
You're not
point, let me
answering the
finish.
question. You're not answering the question.
I
I
can't
asked
because
you a
I need to
very
know
simple.
what is your definition
No,
of
that's
feminine.
not,
So if you
Dad.
tell
That's
me
not
your
how
definition of
communication
feminine,
works.
do you want to
Dad,
understand? Listen,
that is
Biz.
not how
If we
communication
do
works.
not agree on the definition of feminine,
You
there's
haven't
a
gave me a
possibility that we're gonna
definition
have a
for us
big
to
disconnect.
agree. I'm asking you. Just listen, please.
I would date a man with feminine
Listen.
qualities. I will date a man with feminine qualities. And let me explain to you what I think feminine qualities are. Emotional maturity, being able to resolve conflict, being able to handle his emotions. Those are being a leader because unfortunately, like we already know, we're not going to act like this is oblivious, but a lot of men are absent in the leadership. Give me 1 second. Leadership roles in our community. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men, because the baby mamas are hard to deal with, they're just saying, I'm not going to take on that leadership role. So to me, I would date a man with great emotional maturity. I will date a man with certain feminine qualities. Yes, I would. I would not date a man with negative feminine qualities. A man that's going to nag all the time. A man that's going to yell all the time. A man that's going to be insecure. Y'all act like, for instance, that's one thing I hate. When we hear say men is insecure, a lot of men don't want to believe that because they feel like that's a female trait. That's a trait of an unhealed person. Insecurity is not is not a trait of women. Men are insecure too, but the world has failed to put it out there and say how the way men act when they're insecure. You know what I'm saying? Men act differently, but it's not as public as this women. So now insecure is a female trait when it's just an unhealed trait. So I agree with MJ completely. Whenever it has to do with something, if a man is acting like an unhealed man, say he an unhealed man. Don't say he acting like a woman, because as a healed woman, I don't act like that man. You get what I'm saying? That's why it's offensive. Don't do that to us.
I just don't
Look,
understand why relationships are
a
defined by
woman
what
like
somebody is physically
what you
doing
just
as
saying right
opposed
now,
to.
a man ain't gonna get the opportunity gonna say shit. Die. You keep
How did
talking
it
and
at the
talking and talking.
beginning? So that's what I'm
You
saying.
can't be
I know
quiet,
I just
man.
cut
You,
you
you
off,
just
but
keep
Cloud did it
talking and
at the
talking.
beginning.
What man in the relationship gonna have an opportunity to talk when if he act like you as a feminine woman? That man is in trouble. Y'all ain't gonna listen to either one of each other because y'all gonna just be talking over each other.
Exactly.
Please go back and watch this, please, because if you go back to the beginning, every time
But I'm
Cloud cut
not.
us
But
off,
I'm not
every
talking
time
about.
did something, I was quiet. I didn't cut him off. We all done did that. It's not a feminine it's not a feminine trait. We're passionate. This is a passionate trait. It has nothing to do with women. It's a
No,
passionate trait.
no,
Wait. So, Dad,
it has to
if
do with feminine and masculine, though,
if
because
if
because y'all constantly say that women are the receivers, correct? Y'all constantly say that the feminine receives. So that means that if the masculine is speaking and the feminine is speaking, and that means the feminine is then mimicking the masculine because she's not receiving and she's not listening. So that's why we say y'all are acting like a man, because you're not receiving.
All right, so great question right here for all of the ladies on the panel. I know right now a hot word that's going around is calling men sassy. Is sassy a feminine? Is that a feminine word?
Sassy is a feminine word.
Okay, so would you date a sassy man?
I want to date sassy man or woman.
That answers the
I
question.
don't want
Then
nobody with lip.
You gotta
that
understand what we
And
use
sassy
sassy
you
means
for.
somebody with
We
lip, right or
sassy, yeah,
wrong.
sassy.
What?
A sassy woman is a woman that can't, that's always got some, she
How is
yapping,
that she
she
sassy?
complaining.
in
She
the
You know
in
what I'm
said,
the
I
saying? She
want
got
a
a
English.
smart
sassy man.
mouth.
That's
And
what I'm
there's
saying.
men like
Sassy is
that
not
that
just
are
a
like
woman's
that.
trait. Like,
Yeah, it is men that are like
you
that.
guys
Men get mad
y'all
at women for being women. That's sassy
right,
to
and
me.
it so look,
I'm
so
not.
Y'all
look,
get mad at women
so
for
look.
being women.
Men that act like men that act sassy, other men will call them out on them acting like a female. You guys everybody just agreed that
But
the
they don't do
term
it to you. They
let
do
me
it to the
finish
women. That's how
talking.
we know.
Can I finish talking? Every woman on the panel literally just admitted to the fact that the word sassy is a feminine word. You can look it up in the dictionary in the English language. The term sassy is a feminine word. So if you're saying that you won't date a sassy man, then that means that you wouldn't date a man that has feminine traits.
Like she said, they saying it as gay
Ow.
too. It's like gay. Like you're gay. You're arguing with women. You're supposed to be arguing with men. If a woman argue with a man, she's bogus too. She says she bogus.
She
You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to stay
disrespectful.
in your
She out of
gender.
line.
Stay in your gender. Stay in your gender. If you're not gay and you're not, you feel me? Stay in
And
your
that's
gender.
and those
That's
same
ridiculous. Because then
men
that
that
means men
y'all
can't lead.
consider sassy, real men call them out on their bullshit.
But they don't say you're unhealed. If you can describe, if you
I
call
don't
him
give a
by his,
fuck about
let
them
me say
being
this.
unhealed or
Listen,
not.
listen, Biz.
That's
This is
something
important. No,
that's
seriously.
something that he has to do on his
Listen,
own.
Biz. All
We
BS
we
aside.
just talked about how women help heal other men.
But
This
listen,
men are there as a support system,
yes.
but as a man, that man has to make the choice in order to become healed. And the only way that he can do that is in a vulnerable and safe space.
Or
And
being
typically
able to
that comes.
identify what it is that needs to be healed. Most of the times it's just you need to identify. Men can't even get to the point of identifying what's wrong with them because they're too busy trying to display masculinity that they really don't have. They're not even healed enough to have. That's the issue. And every time y'all see a man like that, and women, and this is why it's a lot
And
of
let me guess, you're
unhealed
the
men in
expert
this
on real
world.
masculinity.
Y'all associating it to women when it's in fact he's just not healed. That man will never heal as long as he's thinking,
And how do you know?
I'm just acting like a woman. No, you're acting like that because you was never heard when you was little. You're acting like
How
that
do you
because you
know?
was not validated. You're acting like that because you weren't provided with education. You're acting like that because women
Are you a
stepped over you,
therapist?
walked all over your men feelings, all that. That has nothing. And when
Are you
y'all
a
describing stuff
psychologist?
like that,
A
men can never figure
psychiatrist?
out
A
what's really
therapist?
wrong with them. They're battling masculinity now. How can I become more masculine? Boy, go heal first. How about that? That's the first step. Go heal.
Are you a therapist?
That's what I'm aspiring
Yeah,
to be.
don't answer that.
I'm going
Oh,
to school.
you're not one.
I'm
So
going to school for it.
you're not professionally trained to diagnose people. So who are you to say who's healed and who's not healed? How do you know
What
She
that
do
you're
said
you
she
healed or
stayed at
not?
mean?
If you're
Holiday
not,
Inn.
What
who
She
are
are
said
you
she
to
you
stayed at Holiday
judge?
serious?
Inn. She's not a therapist, but she stayed at Holiday
I
Inn.
never played basketball and I'm not a coach, but I can see when somebody can play basketball or not. I'm not a
God
singer,
damn.
but I
Yeah,
can tell when
but
somebody
that
can
don't mean you
sing.
fit to
I'm
tell
sorry,
somebody how to
Clout.
play
I'm
basketball.
sorry,
You
Clout. I'm
seeing
sorry
whether they
that
good
when
or
it
not
comes
don't
to
mean that you
men,
could coach them
all
on
your
how to be
gifts are
better.
rooted in the
But that
physical,
don't mean that
Clout.
you can
I'm
coach
sorry
them
it's
on how
something
to
you
be
can't
better.
relate to, Clout. But just because you can't
Oh, you're
relate to it,
upset.
Clout, don't mean
Oh,
you
you're
should
in your
discredit it,
feelings.
Clout.
You're upset.
I'm just
Oh, that's
saying.
sad.
That's my
Look
And
at
you
gift,
you.
baby.
gaslighting her now.
That's my
Not
gift, baby.
No,
but
no,
I've
she's in
been
her
doing this
feelings
for
because
you're
33
she's
years.
trying to get at me
Cloud,
personally. You don't
Cloud,
know me
I've been doing
personally.
this
You're
for
You're in your
33
emotions.
years,
It's okay.
baby.
You're
I've been doing this
gaslighting.
for 33 years, Cloud. Just because your gift is not my gift, you can never discredit my gift, baby. I
What's your
know
gift?
this because
Period.
like I
What's your
said,
gift?
I don't speak on
What's your
stuff I
gift?
don't know enough.
Clout, you are. Hold on,
What's your
Di. Let
gift?
me talk. Clout,
What's your
you
gift?
are the perfect
Excuse me. I'm having a
example.
conversation with Di. You'll have your
Clout,
opportunity to speak with me.
Clout.
Listen, you'll have your opportunity to speak with me. I'm talking to Di right now. Continue,
Oh,
Di. What?
okay.
Tell me, what's your gift, Di?
Because I know Remy about to bring it.
Trust me,
Boy.
it's
I wasn't
nothing. I'm gonna
talking to
talk to
Remy.
you about
No,
I
it.
don't
you
know
keep
what
saying
It's
Remy
I'm
got. I
nothing you
over
wasn't
can
talking to
relate
Remy.
explaining.
I'm
to,
Don't
talking
be
to
Cloud.
Di.
It's
disrespectful.
nothing you can
Listen,
We
I'm
relate
listen.
to,
sorry.
listening to
Hold
Cloud.
each
on, hold on,
other,
hold on.
so it
I'm
doesn't
not
matter.
even
Excuse me,
going there
excuse me,
with you,
Ladies,
excuse
ladies,
me,
Beauty.
ladies,
excuse me.
ladies.
That's
I
the
can
healed
only
person in me,
Excuse
entertain.
me.
baby. I'm
Ladies,
not
I
even
can
going
only
there with
entertain
you.
One mic,
one
one
woman
I'm
at
mic.
a
gonna
time,
identify
baby.
who
Excuse
you
me.
Yeah,
are.
Where
yeah.
you
Ladies,
come
I know
from?
y'all all want my
Excuse
attention right
me.
now, but I can only
Yeah.
Excuse
entertain
me.
one of you at a time. And at the current moment, I've
Yeah.
chosen to entertain Di. So
No,
if the
but you're
rest of you
being
could please be
disrespectful is
quiet,
all I'm saying.
ladies, if you could
You don't
please
have
be
to be
quiet,
This is a
disrespectful,
if you
perfect
Clout.
could please
example
be,
of sassy,
see,
You
sir.
don't have to be
see,
This
this
is
is
disrespectful.
exactly
sassy.
Cause
women.
I'ma
See, this
pipe
is
up
This is
at
exactly
that
why in
point.
the
sassy.
Bible,
I'ma
this is
pipe up at
exactly
This
why in the
I
Bible it
got ready to
says
get it off.
I'm not
This
gonna
is
let you get
exact
off
because
you're
I
being
was
disrespectful.
speaking and you're being rude.
You're being
I was
disrespectful.
speaking.
And you're
So
being
please be
disrespectful.
quiet.
No,
Please be quiet and allow me to finish
only
speaking.
person gonna
Have
ask
some
me to be quiet
decency.
is Lapeef or
Have
Kelly.
some
I promise you.
decency and
So,
some
I
respect
promise
for the
you. I
platform.
don't
All right,
care.
hold
Have
on,
some
y'all. Hold
decency.
on. Everybody,
My dear,
everybody.
have some
Okay, so
decency and
Everybody.
respect
I'm
for
gonna
the
be quiet.
platform. I was talking. I was
Everybody.
speaking.
Hold on, everybody.
Ladies, please.
Hold on.
Civilization
Everybody.
ladies.
Stop, hold on. Everybody.
Civilization ladies.
Everybody,
Please.
everybody, hold tight.
Go back to work. I thought you was at work or something.
Hold on, y'all. Let's Musa, y'all.
Shorty, relax. I'm not in no work, baby. Relax.
Well,
Don't worry about what I'm doing.
You came back all wrong.
Don't worry about what I'm doing, darling. You too involved, darling. You too worried about my personal life. We having a conversation about facts here. My dear, quiet. Shh.
Go back and do that.
Lapeef was talking.
Looking like a Black Panther R&B
If you would be
Get out of
quiet,
here.
it'll be over, Clout, because we all being respectful to
Quiet.
Lapeef asking us to be quiet.
Quiet, ladies. Lapeef is talking.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Lapeef is talking, ladies. Quiet.
Hold on.
Quiet, ladies. He's talking.
It's just Wednesday. It's just Wednesday. Everybody having a good week. That's Wednesday, man. It's too loud. I had to turn y'all down. I sound like some damn cat, man. Let's go ahead and get these super chats out the way. See what this say. Just Blaze. You don't have that.
Gosh.
Oh, that's the guy.
Man, he been talking shit in the chats all night. That's an R&B thug too, right there. But go ahead, the next one gonna be him too, talking shit about me.
Oh, you like that, don't you? Huh?
Just Blaze right now. You don't.
You like that, don't you? Huh? You mad?
All he want to do is clap them
Take
cheeks.
your sassy ass on somewhere.
Men are built
DM me
different.
later, baby. I know you're
Easily.
upset. DM me later.
I'm good. I got enough for you.
Huh? You
I'm
mad?
done.
Relax.
I had enough for you, girl.
That's cute.
Showing some support to my guy Hink and salute.
If I was a girl, I'd show you how to do your makeup better, baby. Because them lips look terrible. But at the end of the day, we can talk about something else.
Yeah, you can get them next.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
That fucking ass-eating beard you got. That ass-eating beard you got me some mother.
Hold on, y'all. I gotta get these super chats, man. Y'all going crazy. Big at 11. She said, did I read this one already? Big at 11, $10. She said that eyes are the gateway. But if your eyes are flying around in your head when you're talking, how are our eyes supposed to connect? Murphy Bernard became a member. Welcome to the club. Ikane, $2 says, and these are the women you want to marry. Big at 11, $10 says, see, every time JR wears bears or bulls hats, a fight breaks out. All right. We'll go ahead and get up out
Now that
of
we
here.
got the sassiness out the way, let's get back to
No, I'm about ready to go ahead and end this show.
oh Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's about that time, man. It's Wednesday. Hit the like button also make sure to subscribe to the channel, man.